Welcome in everyone to Rivals and Rants. I am your host, Vaudible. We have Imperator, Leg Day, and Shibby here for the show. It's been a long time since we had a Rivals and Rants episode. Episode 10 was all the way back in July. So glad to be back. Glad to be here with some great gentlemen to break down the action from this past weekend of Ignite. Imperator, I mean, how are you feeling about Marvel Rivals in general currently?
I'm feeling pretty good about Marvel Rivals in general. I think esports has been an amazing year for Rivals, especially it being its first year. Compared to Overwatch, Overwatch flopped in its first year of esports. It was a shit show. I think Marvel Rivals is doing a very good job at it. The only thing they can work on doing better is the advertising.
That's true. That's true. A little bit more advertising. That's what we like to see. Leg Day, you got to be kind of behind the scenes watching Ignite this go around where you were at mid-season. I mean, how'd your watch parties go?
Watch parties were great. They were good fun. I got to hang out with Imperator and the boys on the final day as well. We talked a little bit of smack about NA, and you know what? They deserved it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Third tier region, unfortunately. EMEA stays on top.
Okay. EMEA stays on top. Like to see. I mean, hey, they got top 2. They made it to the finals. We didn't even have an NA team in the finals. That's what we like to see for the EMEA fans. But Shibby, I know you're an NA fan yourself. I'm pretty positive about that. And also, you've been kind of rage baiting people on TikTok. How's that been going for you in terms of your content journey for Marvel Rivals?
Well, so half the people think I'm the other Shib, and I'm like, no, I'm the chocolate one. He's the vanilla one. So it's chill. It's chill. We've both had the same name for a long time, and yeah, I mean, it's been great. I've been loving watching the whole year of Ignite and just the whole esport in general, considering how quickly the game launched and how quickly they were able to put together the esports ecosystem was really interesting. I mean, they already kind of had that framework when there were other tournaments prior, but yeah, I was like very, very impressed with NetEase and just kind of the whole year. Like within like less than 3 months after release, they kind of just got a circuit going and got the teams together. And the improvements they made from mid-season up until the grand finals was like spectacular. I think it was really crazy.
Yeah, a lot of great changes that we've seen happen throughout the entire year now of Marvel Rivals Esports. I mean, a little bit longer than a year if you include the beta and the alpha and all that. But in terms of the actual life of the game itself, it's been kind of great to see. So talk a little bit about the Ignite results. I mean, you guys mentioned it. We saw EMEA thrive so well. Why did America struggle so much here, do you think, Imperator?
I think America mainly struggled because if you look at the teams, go ahead and name a team, any American team that you want me to talk about.
Okay. Let's do 100 Thieves because I think that's one that's on a lot of people's minds.
Okay. So 100 Thieves, one of the main reasons why 100 Thieves struggled against especially EMEA teams, 2 reasons. One, the quality of NA sidelocks aren't as good as EU. We have Sparkar, also Jerky, who also showed impressive sidelock performances. Even Crisis, and of course Melio. I think they're better sidelocks than any NA sidelock. We can't even talk about Tap because they went out first. And they went out first, yeah. And the second reason is the tanks. I think one of the reasons why 100 Thieves was struggling a lot is because of TTK. Now, don't get me wrong, TTK is one of the best tanks in the world, but this is not his meta. He is a predominantly Magneto, Emma, Strange player, and the one team who picked up this meta the fastest and the smartest was VP, because both of their tanks know how to play dive, and the way you dominate in this meta is you either play dive or you lose. And VP was able to play double dive, Angela Venom, Angela Cap Venom, but 100 Thieves does not have an ability, because TTK can only play a little bit of Angela. So unless you run double dive, it's hard for your team to commit to a dive comp. And at that point, you're handicapping yourself in the meta. If this was a Magneto or Emma meta, then I think 100 Thieves would have been in the top 3 team easily.
Okay, so it sounds like overall meta is part of the reason why, and the specific hero strengths for EMEA and Americas. I mean, Leg Day, you've been in the scene as an analyst and caster for a long time now, and I mean, do you kind of agree with that's part of the reasons why America's struggled so much, or do you have any other thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it felt like they failed every initiative role, you know? Like, you're always getting dove upon by a team like Na'Vi or by VP. And then when it came to VP versus Na'Vi, they were very much jostling for positioning to see who could get that dive off first. Like, The second half of the year for VP, I think, has been mostly characterized by Fincy becoming really good at Captain America, which has unlocked what Imperator said, being able to play that double dive. Whereas some teams, like 100 Thieves, they've been very comfortable to allow TTK to just continue playing his, like, stay in place and win the game tanks, which weren't so strong in the current patch.
Okay. I like to see that. I mean, Shibby, you also kind of got to see the transition from, the online stage into the LAN stage. You think that was part of the reason why some of these teams might have struggled as much as we did see them and other teams flourish? I mean, Chopper Mag, they like were a Cinderella story themselves.
It's really interesting because prior to, when we had the regional tournaments, like everybody pretty much perceived that there was like a massive gap between like EU and NA. Like I remember talking to like Citadel's people and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, game quality in North America is not that good. And I talked about like how it kind of homogenizes once everybody kind of gets into the LAN area and, everybody starts to feel each other out, scrims happen and stuff like that. Yeah, I think Imperator's point about like TTK and Vinny, if it is a different meta, if it's like a mag group meta, right? Or if it's like much more stable where it's not dive, that's kind of where they would shine. I think something that's a little bit underrated. I feel like VP has like the best, if not one of the best support lines in the game. I think I've had massive respect for Saipe and Dridrio and how they're able to function, especially in a game and in a meta where most of the time when you're getting dove upon, it's up to the support's job to kind of like position correctly and understand, like, if I put myself here, I may be able to support my team, but I'm also really susceptible to dive. I think if you go through their VODs, if you look through kind of the matches, which is thank God to Rivals, they've been able to let you do that where you download the replays. I mean, their positioning has just been really, really good throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I think a lot of people were thinking of in regards to VP specifically is like, what would have happened if they actually made it to mid-season? That's the age-old question, because we should have seen them in all intents and purposes. They were the unbeatables, as everyone was kind of touting them to be. I think it was 23-1 towards the end of it there too, where teams just struggled event after event after event to take them down, and then they finally missed that first mid-season LAN. I feel like that really kicked things into high gear for that squad as well, Imperator, to make sure, hey, we can't make the same mistake we did last time. We got to secure it and even go above and beyond. They didn't lose a single series. I mean, did we expect after them not making mid-season to have this good of a performance?
I think it was expectable of VP. I think it's good that they lost in mid-season. I think if they made mid-season run, they would have lost, probably gone one of the last places, because VP could not adapt fast enough to the meta. That's the reason why they lost Citadel. Citadel adapted faster. But VP's strength is in losing. When they lose, they make so many improvements and they learn from their mistakes so good that they become the best team at it. And we've seen it. If you look back at the matches, every game, Fincy's cap was protected first. Fincy on cap, he's gotten so good at it, and they've gotten so good at coordinating with each other. The supports are just allowed to play with each other. They don't have to worry about getting peeled or not, because you have an insane support lineup. Very hard to dive, and VP just became the best team to ever do it.
Well, they are the best team currently in Ignite and in Marvel Rivals in general. Won the grand finals pretty handily, as you can see here on the screen. 4-1 victory. Very intense matchup, though, that we got to see for Na'Vi, because they got that one map. Everyone was rallying behind them, and then it was just domination from the get-go afterwards. And speaking of domination, we only saw that one map of domination go down in favor of Na'Vi. Like, how is VP just so good at domination compared to some of these other teams?
It's weird because VP were quite bad at domination for a while. Like, not bad, but like bad for VP. Like, I'd say like 70% of their map losses probably happened on domination prior to mid-season. They weren't so good at moving fast, I think, which is part of why Fincy's adaptation towards Captain America was so important, because it let them take a bit more map control on places like domination. But also they kind of got sucker punched by one of the best mechanical aimers in the game on Crisis when it came to domination play. And also, like should be brought up, like their backline positioning is super good. They love using like areas with very limited ceilings to mean that Venom's entry points, if they're going up against a Venom, are quite limited. The diving strike is pretty hard to make work laterally. You'd want to have a good vertical angle onto that backline. It means that it's very hard to get both Saipe and Redraw off the back of a single dive, so there's always someone who's got space to try and rebuff it with healing.
Yeah. I mean, even to add on to that, like like VP just got really good, specifically in domination, forcing like resources out prior to like getting to the point. Like the way I've always kind of viewed domination is like you have a line of scrimmage and the team that's winning will push that forward, and the other team that's coming out of spawn, right? They have to use resources to push themselves out. And what VP does really smartly is that they'll force like really big key cooldowns, right? Whether it's like if they're going against Emma, they're forcing Diamond Form out, they're forcing Bubble, right? They're really paying attention. And once they've forced out enough resources, you can start to see like the snap engage dive that they have. And it almost feels like it's like a flow chart for them, and you can't really do anything. Like once they get control of the point, it's suffocating, man. Like it is pretty unfortunate, like when you play against them and you're trying to fight your way out of your own spawn point.
It's just like
I'd
you're
like
playing
that
a
to
ranked match too. Imperative, you got a thought?
Yeah, I'd like to refer to VP as a rat team. As you know, I play for Foot Esports. I've scrimmed VP a couple of times, and every time you defend against them, every time you think you have an advantage, one of their players will use any sort of cooldown to force a ultimate out, so they get the advantage. VP essentially is one of the best teams, if not the best team, at ult rotations and map macro, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the macro game, how they have perfected things from going from that mid-season, failure, we can say it now, and going for such like a big win afterwards. I'm sure they're happy that they got the ultimate victory at the end too, but Na'Vi is a team that we also have to mention a little bit here as well, right? Because they looked so good during the mid-season event. They went through a similar journey through the lower bracket, but just hearing from the players specifically, and they keep mentioning this in their kind of recaps after the event, is that, we were, I think, 11% win percentage in scrims or something around that number, and they weren't feeling as confident going into the event. I mean, how does a team like that just rally behind each other? Is it just because they're just that good and they have that synergy? Or, I mean, do you have any insight, like, Day, onto like why they were able to turn things around and what your thoughts are for that?
For Na'Vi?
Yeah.
Trust me, I'll kick you from a team if you don't. bro is 100% the boss. Like, they have such a huge leadership buff in that team. Like, Trust me is just like Trust me is an excellent leader who gets a lot of respect in that team, and it helps to have a unified vision. Because even if your plan isn't the best, apes together strong is an evergreen strategy in any video game. And so sometimes Na'Vi, they just get to ape around, and they follow like Silverback Trust Me's plan, and it's better than maybe a team who thinks they're doing the actual meta. Like a lot of people say that FlyQuest was setting the meta again and again, and like these guys are on top when it comes to coming up with new ideas. But sometimes if they're doing the right plan, but they're following it a little bit less well because they don't have that in-game leadership that Trust Me brings, often you're going to lose to the team that has a more unified vision.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense with that unified vision, why, teams that don't have that going well for them, they're like struggle against it, especially because when we saw them go against them in that grand finals, the one map where they had to substitute because they were so frustrated going into that, you heard the comms on broadcast, they're like, okay, we actually know what we're doing here. We're going to rally behind this guy. He's going to be our spark to at least do something. Then we actually got to see them take a map from VP, and one of just a couple of teams who did that. 100 Thieves, one of them as well. Trapper Mag. I think they were one of the teams too, looking at the group stages specifically, because I have to reference that too to see the exact results that came out from that one, because I didn't have a chance to watch all those myself, unfortunately, because of work and everything. So yeah, Chopper Mag took one of those, and Dark Zero as well. I mean, Shibby, just kind of seeing their journey of losing those initial maps, I feel like that just, as we've all been talking about, fueled the fire for Virtus Pro to just be more perfect going towards the latter half of the event.
Yeah, to add on to the Na'Vi point about the losing scrims, I'm sure it's similar in like almost every esport. Teams just don't play the normal way they would in scrims, right? Like
True.
Teams tend to obviously get a lot more aggressive. They tend to try different things. The teams will try to like hands check you, regardless if it's like, Overwatch, Rivals, League, whatever. So like, I think for a lot of teams when they scrimmed, Na'Vi, they probably were like, oh, this is like the best team or one of the best teams coming into the tournament. Like we can't hold anything back. Let's try new strategies. Let's see if I can make this work. And that's probably why maybe they were thrown off a little bit as to why their scrim results were not as good. But yeah, I think they just powered up through the tournament. I think, having a leader like they said, helps a lot when it comes to like the mental aspect, like being able to regain composure and being able to kind of mentally reset is more important, especially in a tournament like this where it's so condensed, right? It didn't like the whole tournament didn't really last like too long, right? It was over the course of like a week or so. So it's like, I think having that is OP both in game and out of game.
It also was nice too because for the teams themselves, they had a bit of a break in between the group stage and the actual main event. So they had that bit of a breather. They could reset. They could practice different compositions. I mean, one thing that we heard the Dark Zero players mention is that from the group stage into the playoffs, that there was a little bit of a shift in the meta, and I think that comes down to that dive that you were mentioning, Imperator. And I know we saw like a little bit of it, but do you think it was just also some of the NA teams not being as prepared too, in terms of like how you're mentioning with 100 Thieves, where they didn't have the exact meta that they were hoping for going into this event?
Well, I think it was a bit of an IQ test for teams. VP adapted fast, Navi adapted fast. It was a fast meta change. As I think I remember one of the Dark Zero players saying they had to learn 2 new heroes during Atlanta, and I think that's where it comes in. Like that's where it shows: are you a professional player really if you can only play a few amount of tanks? Are you really a professional player if you're prepared for a sudden meta shift? VP was prepared ever since the day they lost. Even it started even since they lost Fight Night against Citadel, almost when they went Jeff Cap, like the OG Jeff flank with Captain America, when that was a thing before Jeff's rework.
Oh, that shit
I think
sucked.
even then VP started focusing on their dive back then even, and after the mid-season loss, they were like, this can never happen again. We're gonna be able to play all tanks, any comps, even Fi and Sparker can play tank now. That's how crazy it is when they swap off the Strange. So they said we have to be prepared. I don't think NA had this passion. I don't think NA had the adaptability that EU teams had, and I think that's why EU had the upper hand.
Okay, having that adaptability is a key thing here. So kind of shifting gears a little bit for the Ignite recap onto this one. Let me center that a little bit better. There we go. Solo producing, so it's a little bit more scuffed on my end. But talking about comparing the land from midseason and the land, at least from an online experience, because I didn't have a chance to watch most of it online. I was in person during Atlanta, but I know you guys had some watch parties and were able to watch a lot of the matches there too. What did you guys think about the viewing experience for Ignite Grand Finals compared to the midseason? I mean, was it decent? Was it better? Were there things that they should have done a little bit better on that side of things? I know there's the tech issues that were kind of plaguing things, but outside of the tech issues, because everyone talked about those forever because there were such long pauses trying to fix internet and clients and whatever else was going on with that. What did you guys think of just the viewing experience for our first in-person Grand Finals?
Not really related to it being a LAN, but first things first, the music, baby. Like, we're not Rivals till the end, every single break.
Finally,
we bought out the stops. We kept having the reframes from, like, No One Rivals Dune remix as a victory track. That shit was sick. I'm very happy with what they did for the music for this one.
Okay. Music, pretty solid. Shibby, any thoughts that you have as well, positive or negative, to give feedback to the devs out there?
Yeah, I didn't catch all of Leg Day's co-stream, so I'm very interested in what he did during the tech pauses. Because I remember when I was co-streaming mid-season, right? I think I did like one time an hour of just like guess the rank of my viewers and like community. Like I was ran out of ideas at that point. So I mean, yeah, tech pauses are tech pauses. It's kind of tough because like if you don't have time to set up the computers, you don't do the tech checks, you don't run through it. Like if you don't give yourself ample time, and I'm sure NetEase and they all know this now, like, hey, let's give ourselves 2 days and get people on there that can actually test the computers and test the internet and stuff like that. I think it was kind of tough for that aspect. That's the negative part. Positive, I did like, I would say the spectating improved vastly from mid-season to grand finals. I feel like they were way more on point with showing the viewers like what was like really important and what was happening. Even like the 3D zoom outs where they would do like the full team fights, I think was really, really good. Like the slow motion cams, or not the slow motion, but like the floating cam stuff. Yeah, I think spectating, I don't know who they hired or if they, kind of got more.
Yeah,
time
it was
to do
EFG. But I think it was a lot of people who do the other hero shooter Overwatch there specifically.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. From mid-season to grands, like this is just stuff I noticed because obviously I'm a caster, but like, yeah, I think the spectating improvement of it and like really making sure this duelist is popping off. Let's get this person and like let's make sure that we can hero build and it helps out the casters and all that stuff. I think spectating was one of the more underrated improvements from, I would say, mid-season to grand finals.
Ooh, okay. So chat has some thoughts as well on that one too. So Matsy, of course, caster for the event itself, said that the observers were on point this time. But Solarson says that they feel like the players, they didn't get to know them as much. I mean, we had like some interview segments that they like pre-recorded and they played bits and pieces of once they went to the actual playoffs themselves. But during that phase, I think they might have had more plans, but because of all the tech issues, they weren't really able to do as much. And because they don't have a stage, and it's more in kind of the back rooms of the Georgia World Congress Center, there's only so much that they can do with the space that's allotted to them because it's very echoey. They only had that like one interview spot. So maybe just more media content, because I know that is a thing that they did for mid-season is they got them out there super early. They only got them for most of these teams, unless they were, doing some sort of preparations for it in their own like practice rooms and whatever else they rent out. They only got most of those players and even the casters like a day before they started things or like 2 days before. So it's kind of rough on that end. They didn't have as much preparation. There wasn't as many like media days leading into things. So content wise, maybe a little lackluster on that side. And for grand finals, you want to see like the best of the best, but I think they were more focused on just the game itself. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Imperator?
I definitely think that the casters carried the event for the spectators. You had all these different types of angles from the casters. You had the cast at the table. You had Cozy with the mic on the big stage, and you had Thatcher going. This was the best thing. Thatcher going into the audience and asking the audience questions.
Oh yeah.
During downtime. That's the best. That's the best time killing element of it. I agree with the Solarson's take that it felt less. You felt less competition and passion from the player side because there were no team intros. In Mid-South, in Guangzhou, we had team intros for everyone. Citadel, why they want to win, why they're here. If we had that for every team, including Chopper Mag, I think we would have a really good, like, more passionate audience for the games.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed too, like being in person. Until towards those final days, a lot of people didn't know like how to cheer. It felt like for their teams that they wanted to see, like this is baby's first esport for like a lot of people that came out to the event is what it seemed to be. I basically had to get people cheering for FlyQuest, and I wasn't necessarily cheering for FlyQuest at the time. I was just cheering for great matches, but I'm like, nobody's cheering here. Nobody's like rooting for their teams. What is happening? So at least like maybe if they got someone that could organize those things. I know there's like other events that do that, that have like a cheering section for specific organizations doing that, like actually bringing people out to the event so that they can root for their team to actually show support on that side of things too, just to get the crowd involved. Because like once you could hear that, and I went back and listened to it on stream, it was like so much better, I felt like too, on that end of things as well. And also the intros that we did see from like Cozy and from Tetra, I feel like also were so much more hype in person than they were online. Like it was very muted and close, and they didn't have like much audience noise and things of that sort in terms of like the audio mixing of it. I'm kind of an audiophile myself, so a little bit more on picking and choosing things for that. But in terms of like the overall event itself, a lot of fun to go there and see the events. The crowd involvement that you guys were talking about was great. We also got to be a part of that too, just filling up the crowd a little bit, because the way that they had the setup, it wasn't the greatest in terms of viewing in the front row, because you had one giant screen like right above you if you were in the front row in the middle. So you had to sit back a little bit, which made it so that people were sitting in the front were just like super fans cheering, where we had those like FlyQuest fans that had like the FlyQuest flag and all that. And there was like some 100 Thieves fans, but they didn't really have much that they brought themselves out for it. FlyQuest, I think, had the most in-person audience from what I could tell out of any of the teams, aside from, the families and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully for future events, we do see a little bit more like actual crowd involvement and maybe a little bit of a better in-person viewing experience for people up close, because it looked great from behind and it looked great when they had the cameras, the casters showing like, the big screens and everything behind them. Like you had to look up and straighten your neck most of the time when you're trying to watch everything, which wasn't really the best experience on that side of things, but it looked cool from the other end. Outside of that, yeah, I think it was pretty decent.
I think FlyQuest had one of the most one-sided audiences, as in where during the Navi matches, if Jerky would get 3 kills with his Psylocke ult, pure silence. Spark Chief gets 1 kill, the audience goes wild.
Yeah.
I think for the Navi players it was like, why are they not cheering? And when they get 1 pick off, they still even get rest by Rocket Beacon. It's not even a pick. Like they get rest, they still cheer like they won the match. Spark Chief!
Yeah.
He got a pick!
That is part of it too, is that I think with Marvel Rivals in general, a lot of people do not know where like the highs and lows are as a casual viewer. So where they can like cheer about things, right? So that's where I'm like, okay, you kind of need people that know about the game a little bit more to guide that for the fans in a sense, until they get, I guess, Pavloved into, oh, I know this is happening now. I know that I can cheer for this point because, oh, this team's actually doing something that matters, and not just like a random kill in the backline or something like that when they have a res beacon right next to it or something like that, you know? So I think that's the biggest hurdle for Marvel Rivals as an esport, is just being able to be more casual friendly in terms of introducing new viewers and why they should care about this crazy play that happened, and them understanding that it is a crazy play in terms of the like viewing experience of it. Which I think, like, as things went along throughout the competition, it got easier for people who were there for the multiple days. So like, oh, I recognize that this is actually a cool thing. This player matters because the casters are saying like, this guy's like really good at this specific hero. Things like that got a bit better for that as well. Yeah, the parents, shout out to that on that side of things too. The parents were great. Like, I got to talk to a couple of them, specifically some of the ones from Chopper Mag too, and I did the interview for Zen Star. I mean, they were the biggest supporters for these players. It's just great to see that the families for all these teams and these players are super supportive for it too, Shibby, because I feel like that is so important to make sure that the players are supported before anything else, so that they have a good experience when they're going to these events.
Yeah, I mean, that's synonymous all the way down even to like the collegiate level, where I've been to like college lands and casted and stuff. Like, having the parents there, having that support is super, super crucial. Kind of to go back to that point of like people not really knowing like when to cheer. I think it's also like some heroes are a lot more what is the word, like visually clearer, like when they're doing something. Like if a Bucky is cracking impacting, he's screaming at the fucking top of his lungs, right? But if a Psylocke is like doing her dance of the butterfly, it's like ching ching ching. Like, nobody really knows what's happening, and like they hear the kill noise, but they don't know if it's a kill noise because some of the noises sound a little bit, similar, because when you're headshotting versus when you're getting the elim. So maybe that's something that they can kind of take into later in lands. I know, like in League and in like Valorant, when people get elims and kills and stuff, like player portraits will go black and white, or like some other portrait will go like start like blasting.
That'd be a cool way to do it.
The other team. Yeah, like if they ever host a LAN at like a bona fide esports center or something like that, right? Because we had one in Guangzhou, and now we had one at like the Dreamhack one. But if they can ever get like the stage setup going where they have players' portraits or whatever hero they're playing, and like it starts flaring up when they get elims, I think that'll kind of like the visual indicator. I think that's like the next step, because like visual clarity is always going to be an issue with hero shooters, Overwatch, Paladins, whatever, you name it, right? It's always going to be difficult to convey exciting thing is happening right now versus like CS and Valorant, where it's like shoot, gun, bullet, they're dead, right?
I mean, for the in-person like lands, we need like the diatonic like noob video, like, this is Psylocke and this is Dance of a Butterfly.
Exactly.
Here's when they get a kill, and it's like,
yeah,
you need secret shoppers. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that person just got 3 kills. That's really good, and everybody's like starts cheering, like, oh, this person said. You need like to plant one in every row of the audience.
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to do what we could to like cheer things on, just in the audience in general. But it was like me, CB, Diatonic, Soren, and I think Gatsby and some of the other players out there too. I got to chill with Z Cubed and Mega Mulani. Those guys are pretty dope as well. But yeah, just like having more people that know the game that can help get the audience involved, I think is just an important thing in general for LAN events, especially if you aren't as familiar. And that is another thing too. Like, I come from Rocket League specifically. Rocket League, it's car soccer. It's kind of easy to understand on that side, but there's like more mechanics that come out of it that people don't understand if they're watching it for the first time. So yeah, having those mechanics videos in general might just be some good filler. Yeah, it's not for the main audience of esports that, are those diehard fans that are watching the whole time. But yeah, having something for people to be like, hey, this is, a starter course, so that like what to look at and what's actually interesting on that side of things too is huge as well. But yeah, looking at the chat too, I don't want to go past it too much, talking specifically at the media days. It sounds like the Sunday they did have a little bit of a media day, but they had 4 days of media day in Guangzhou as they were just getting everything set up. They were probably trying to show, the country to everyone too and get as much content because it was the first event on that side. We'll see what their plans are going forward in terms of content and media. I'm sure they have their own thoughts. I'm sure the casters have their own thoughts on that. I mean, Leg Day, as a caster in Ignite yourself, I mean, do you think there just needs to be more content in general for the players, for people to just learn more about them?
Generally, yeah. Like it's a bit of a balancing act, especially for these lands. Like most players, they just want to practice. Like they're there to win. A lot of the players, like they'll acknowledge the value of like the content, but ultimately they don't give a shit. Like they want to win and hold their trophy. That's why they're there. And admittedly, I think there was a little bit of a resource gap between Grand Finals and Guangzhou. Like in Guangzhou, we were at NetEase HQ. Like if they wanted a media team, they could just grab a bunch of employees who they'd already paid. They have all of their media equipment there and ready. Like, I don't know what NetEase's footprint in the US is like, but I'm assuming they don't have as much like logistical throughput as they do literally at their home base to try and make these content pieces happen. But they are super important, and it should be impressed upon players. But like when it comes to the longevity of your career, like you can help the ecosystem to help you make more money by being interesting and relatable. Like Jerk has been really good at this. I've recommended Jerky to come on the podcast because I think that he's been a great addition to Na'Vi. He's got a bunch of clarity when he speaks. He's incredibly charming. And I think Rivals in particular, we have, compared to other esports, I think a higher average level of charisma in our pro players compared to competing esports. We've got a lot of very charismatic players who've picked up this game and gotten very good at it.
Yeah, and that definitely helps, especially once they're willing to actually do more of that content and get out of their shells a little bit and have some more obligations on that side of things too. And I'm sure it being the first event, they don't want to step on too many toes with that. Just get who they can for those like interview segments and the bits that they did do when they had like 3 players from some of the teams and ask them some questions and then cut those back and forth, things like that. But there's so much more that they can do in the future with the lands itself and things to improve it. I mean, as you were talking, Shibby, one cool thing that was in person, I don't know how much they showed it online. I think they showed like a little bit of it. Was right behind the players during the ban and protect phase. They actually showed as it was happening. Yeah. Oh, this person was banned. This person was protected. Seeing that was really cool because then you could like see exactly, okay, what the mindset is, where they're going with that without having to look directly up at the screen. You could just look at the stage and see all of that happening. So like, more involvement with the stage and being able to show that off for the people in person, always a great thing too. And I'm sure they'll be taking their own feedback from that. I mean, ESL's done so much with CS and Valorant and so many other titles, Overwatch itself. Like they know what they're doing. I think it just always comes down to like budget, time, and whatever their vision is on that side of things too. So yeah, bigger band screen, also a cool thing if they could do that too. I did like the one that they did have like at the bottom, where you saw it be more like customized that way and showing like the actual event itself as well during that. And they had like the 6 cameras for each side too when they were going into the map that showed the players. Like that was cool how they had all the player cams, how they had like the coach/analyst cams dueling off against each other while they were going through it too. Like those things were neat to get people more familiar. It's like, oh, this person's the decision maker on this specific spot. These are the players, and you can see their reactions whenever they pop off afterwards too. I mean, that was a really cool thing in terms of lands, and which you kind of miss out on online because you don't have those like player cams during that as well. So a lot of different things that they can work on for future seasons on that side of things as well. But one thing I want to talk about, so we've talked a little bit about, Ignite, the results, the aftermath of that. Speaking of the aftermath, because I did have this come through as well, because there's been a lot of orgs that have kind of taken a little bit of a break during this transition period between the end of Ignite and the start of whatever happens next year, because we still don't know. I was hoping that we'd have some sort of announcement. I know Cozy said, oh yeah, we'll have some announcement this week, and I'm sure he's regretting that because they haven't announced anything yet. So that's how it goes. But orgs are pausing their involvement in the game currently. OG, of course, they didn't make it to the event, so not too surprised on that. You saw Z10 doing the same thing here too. pausing their involvement as well. FlyQuest, they aren't necessarily pausing their involvement, but they are releasing their players based on their contracts expiring. So not renewing them. They're not trying to hold on to those
I think
players.
This is kind of the opposite. This is more than anything.
That's what I was
confirming they're
thinking.
Here for 2026.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have heard that there's still some other contracts discussions on that end too for these players as well. Some of their contracts expire sooner rather than later, so it'll depend on like what we hear in the future for that. If they stick with their roster for those other players, but at least for now, makes sense economically not to hold on to these two players, to a coach and to a player that your contracts have expired when we don't know what is happening next year yet. And then Sentinels is the big one where they release their entire roster. That's like, the America's baby, basically, in terms of an org, where they have Aramori and all the other great players that are on that roster that people know and love that barely missed out on the LAN itself too. So I think a lot of people were shocked to see Sentinels pausing their involvement, but missed the other ones where they already paused their involvement or they're just renewing contracts in the future, things of that sort. So I want to know, and leave this open on the floor, whoever wants to take it. What are your thoughts on the orgs pausing it? Is it a good sign that they're just thinking of maybe coming back? Is this a bad sign for the scene? Like a lot of people are doom and gloom. What are we feeling?
All right, I'm going to take the aggro. All of these orgs fucking lost.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
Like, no
I can
org that
speak
made
on
it
this
to the
end.
LAN is saying this. It's all the orgs that just lost. Like, OG never got better than 6th. Admittedly, Sentinels, I think that they are probably going to end up coming back, but they didn't get to go to LAN, and as far as I'm aware, didn't have, like, a direct link to the devs. Like, a bunch of the orgs at the LAN got to talk to the devs about what's coming next year. And Zero Tenacity, and Zero Tenacity. Next.
Yeah, that's a whole thing because they were in EMEA. that scenario happened. They went into Asia afterwards. But for those who might not have been tuning into the news that happened, they did pay out their players that they did owe. So that is good. They have actually fulfilled their contract obligations on that side. I did see the tweets from that a couple weeks ago or
Needs to
something
be
like that.
dragged back into the call.
Oh,
His
okay,
Discord
gotcha. His Discord crashed.
yeah,
Oh, no.
he was quiet for too long. I was like, there's no way this guy can stay
They're
that
like, this
quiet.
Imperator guy. He's just really thinking a lot. Imperator, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, my Discord crashed. Like I had to restart it. I think all of these orgs flopped. That's why they're leaving and pausing their schemes. They couldn't adapt to the meta.
Okay.
Sentinels dropped 2 of their best players. Dropped. They left. They didn't get dropped. They left. And Sentinels couldn't even beat Dark Zero, which had basically 2 of the Sentinels players. Z10 is still busy paying out their players. I'm not worried about that. They won't probably make a lot of LAN. And OG just can't make it past playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
pretty
makes
much.
sense. not too much surprising.
OG had so many options. Like, they could have picked up Chopped, and they continue to, like, do this underinvest. Fuck it, maybe it'll do kind of route. Didn't pay off 2 seasons in a row. Like, I respect OG. I think they came in strong as an org during the Invitational. They tried to go the grassroots route, and honestly, like, while they did some good scouting, it didn't get major results, and they kind of got what they paid for in a lot of these results tables.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The teams that you don't see actually at the LAN are the ones that are exiting so soon. We'll see what happens. I was hoping at this point it's like, hey, we'd have some sort of announcement for season 5 and all this other stuff. But one thing I do want to talk about, kind of looking forward to the future of Marvel Rivals, and that's a big thing in a lot of people's minds right now, is what the future holds for Marvel Rivals esports. I mean, what are you guys hoping to see for next year in terms of, support, in terms of, org involvement, whatever else it could be? I'll start with Shibby on this one. I mean, what do you want for the future of Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, I think what NetEase can, like, an easy slam dunk that they can do is, like, kind of laying out a year roadmap similar to what they did this year, where they're like, hey, here's these stages, here's what we're going to do. But I think, providing more structure on, like, what the formats are going to be, how the qualification process is. I will say I think they were a little bit in over their heads when they kind of divided the regions with, like, or like Osh and China and all that stuff. I'm kind of hoping maybe not hoping is the right word, but, like, there's very clear more interest if you were to like just combine APAC as a whole and combine a bunch of regions. Obviously, North America has the investment in the teams at the moment. Like, I think the Sentinel stuff, we want to quickly talk about that. They're also like starting up a League of Legends team, and that's like the game I come from natively. And the rumors from there, this can't get back to me. This is a Rivals podcast. No one's gonna care about League. The rumors there is that they are like the rumors there are they are like kind of trying to moneyball, and they're trying to like cost save because it's their first year in. Like Rob Moore is doing like a press tour equivalent of like he's going on like, oh, North American League of Legends is like worse than CS and all this stuff. Like it's very clear that the Sentinels at the moment, regardless of the title they're in or whatever they're doing, they are very much in like a cost savings mode. So even if Sen does come back, I don't think it'll be like ball out $60,000 like whatever the contract, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to come in and splash a bunch of cash and like sign all the best names, all the best free agents. I anticipate that it's going to be a mixture of like 1 to 2 really good personalities, and like they mentioned, we've got a lot of charismatic people. I think that's what's going to carry orgs more than anything, is like having the player or two that you can attach yourself to within a team and be like, ah, yes, this is who I like. But in terms
Similar
of the
to how
future,
Sentinels did Aramori, like during this
yeah,
past
to
year
an,
of
to an
Ignite.
extent, right? Yeah, for sure. And yeah, in terms of like future, I'm always a big fan of an open circuit system, third party tournaments, like doing the qualification process through that way. Like I said, I've also seen the other aspect where it's like VCT and league, where it's much more partnered system. You've got your 10 teams or your 12 teams, you create the league and you see how long it goes. Both have advantages and disadvantages. I just kind of trend towards an open circuit system where, like, you know, we can start having like dream hacks, blasts, you know, all that stuff, like, you know, having all these different tournaments, and then just having netties kind of be like the in a sense Valve-esque, where they'll host a couple majors, they'll take points in, and they'll do all that stuff. We have RMR qualifiers. I think the big thing is keeping consistent competition, because there was a lot of downtime between mid-season and grand finals. And like, sure, MRC is amazing, but the teams that are competing in MRC most of the time are like, you know, tier 2 players or players that are on the rise. And tier 3, right? Like Vaudable, me and you, we got to cast like TVO, which was like one tier 2 tournament where like FlyQuest and Dark Zero and, you know, teams like that were competing. Like there kind of needs to be a constant flow of like, okay, grand finals is done, where are we going to compete next? What's the next big competition? Like, just, it has to be in your fucking face, unfortunately. And as Imperator mentioned, they just don't really advertise that well.
I mean, from mid-season going into Stage 2, there was no announcements about Stage 2 on the dates, on the qualifiers, on any of that stuff. I think, like, the week of the first qualifier is when we had news of the first qualifier for Stage 2. So, like, that kind of communication does need to get better for planning for orgs, for players, especially people who have, like, day jobs, too. EMEA, I've talked to a lot of the different players and orgs there. That is a major concern for them, because a lot of them do not have, you know, that streaming background to carry them forward in their transition from, you know, the end of the season into the next season. They need some sort of, you know, notice, heads up, or like what's coming up next for those sort of events. And yes, you know, some of the orgs got information, some of them didn't, from what I heard too. And in terms of at least the players, I know like the heads up do, but they kind of keep some of that stuff close to their chest as well. No one's telling
anything to players, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's hard for people to plan, especially if, you know, some of these orgs are looking to recruit new players for whatever the next edition of Marvel Rivals Esports is. And because they don't have that guaranteed confirmation yet, it's tough. And some of them, it works out better for them because they'll be able to hold on to their contracts with their team, because they just want to keep it safe with those squads who made it to the grand finals. Some of them aren't going to get signed yet because other teams are just hesitant. They don't know what is happening at this current moment in time. So it's a tough spot to find themselves in for that as well. But we'll see what the future holds for that side of things. I mean, Imperator, what are your thoughts?
So, do you want me to say the truth or a PR answer?
I mean, I'd take the PR answer and then the truth. That's always a fun one.
So the PR answer is that NetEase is still young, and that it takes time to get used to being able to advertise a game like this, and that it sometimes can go wrong at the early stages, but I'm sure they'll improve. That's the PR answer. The truth is that NetEase is a Chinese company, and that if we look at the history of gaming, China is not that good at advertising. They're good at producing, data-driven marketing, and commerce. Advertisement is not one of China's strongest aspects. If we look at the two strongest aspects in advertising, two strongest countries, it's USA, UK, and also Japan. All the advertisements we see from Nike, Toyota, or any other clothing brands, they have flashy advertising. Everyone sees it. So what I think that he should do is just drop a bit of the ego and start outsourcing. If there's a big event coming up, let's hire some people from Japan, let's hire some people from America, and let's make sure that the entire world will know that, hey, there's going to be $1 million tournament happening. Look at this advertisement. Look how cool this looks. So I think that's the number one thing that NetEase needs to do, because that also makes more sponsors come to the game, more exposure, which is also more feasible for orgs to come here and play for us.
I think another thing too, in regards to that, in terms of like the weirdness of the advertising that we've seen, is that the drops. The drops have been for everyone, for most people, for the tournaments, for all this kind of stuff. And it doesn't just end when the tournament is over. It goes for weeks afterwards. And there's nothing exclusive to just watching Marvel Rivals Ignite or Marvel Rivals Championship or whatever it is. Every other esport that does drops typically for their main esport to get people to like watch it and at least get those metrics up to have more viewership, which is how it moves the needle for that, for sponsors or whatever else, has those exclusive drops. I feel like whatever the next edition needs to be or is going to be needs to have some sort of exclusivity for some drop, whatever it is, if it's a costume, if it's an emote, whatever, so that people have more incentive to actually watch it and not just be streaming at the same time and watch their favorite streamer, because that is us cannibalizing our own viewership in terms of like, oh yeah, Necros is playing, but he's not watching at night, so let me just watch Necros and get like the 20 billion drops that are happening right now, right? So it benefits the streamers for sure, but it doesn't benefit the esport itself. I mean, Leg Day, I feel like you have some thoughts on this.
I was just thinking about next year. Like, my main request would be drive org involvement through revenue sharing on in-game items.
Yeah,
like as far as I'm aware, this game shits money. Like, it's got a fan base that I think spends quite a bit, and that could definitely be leveraged. Like, I don't know if you've still got the Sentinels thing up. Like, if they could get that thing skin out there, holy, like that thing is nasty. And like the Atom as well. Like, some of these teams have already done like the design groundwork.
I'll show it real quick.
Only thing that might get in the way, like, I don't know if it's like a Disney licensing issue that we can't get like team logos on like IP that Disney owns or something, or it might just be that we couldn't do it in the first year because it was a little bit young. But like, look at that thing skin, bro. I would buy the shit out of that. that is nasty, brother.
You're missing. You're missing
some integrations.
You just need a summer Sentinel skin on like Luna or Mantit. That is just release a summer line for all the teams that are partnered. You are gonna be shitting money. Like, actually, it's gonna be crazy. You don't even need the logo. Just skin. Black and red, blue and green, like pastel, you name it, man. I think that's where they make their money. But yeah, I think the logoing thing is the issue. I wouldn't even be mad if they just do the colors, right? But then not every team has to have a unique color code, right? They can't kind of have like the same. So
maybe you have legendary like inspired skins, like Chopper Mag would have an excellent one with like the ears on it and whatever. Like maybe Mantis dressed up like that or something. And like, it's not necessarily exactly that team, but it's inspired by them.
yeah, exactly.
I agree with Shibi.
I think another thing too that they could do, as we see like with T1, is having skins that actually help fund the ecosystem, right? Because it can make as much money as it wants to for Marvel Rivals, but eventually you do need some sort of revenue to be coming in. Yes, it is an advertising arm and all that, but that is, later down the line, a lot of companies have been struggling with that and had to pull back a little bit because they haven't focused too much on revenue generation with sponsors, whatever else, deliverables for their main events. So, I mean, NetEase, they have as much money in the world as they need for this stuff, but in the future, that could be a way. It's like, hey, we have this Ignite specific costume for, whoever's in the meta right now, or for like the new season, there's an Ignite specific one. And if you get this and spend your whatever currency it is in game, and then it goes towards like a future prize pool or like the pot for these teams or something like that would be dope. That way it just kind of shows like a direct way to do that too. Yeah, in-game announcer voice pack for leg day. That'd be great. Yeah, Matthew's got it going.
Well, Ryan's bringing up an interesting point of like, you should only make it the top teams. I would kind of push back on that, because then you run into like the sticker situation with CS where like teams will build and tear down rosters, and if they don't make the major, if they don't get the sticker money, like that org just dissipates. Or not maybe the org, but like the team just dissipates. It's a very fine line of like, oh, if you only make it like, let's say you only made it the teams that made it to grand finals, right? And like Sentinels is like, oh, we don't get a skin, nuke everybody out into the sun, right? And like now they drop their whole roster, blah 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 blah. I guess if it's like a third party, then you kind of need to make it to like where whoever makes the majors do it. But if they're doing a more VCT styled partner system, I think partner skins are fine. Like at that point, or partner in-game revenue. Like there's just, it's tough. It's tough. I think Ryan brings up a good point though.
Yeah.
May I speak on this?
Yeah, you're good.
I think rivals, like, they have to look at this. Like, I can say by the way. Actually, I don't know if I can. You know, what are they gonna do? Take my partner away?
Say it.
There's gonna be a tournament next month.
Yeah, I mean, we expect that for there to be tournaments in between, you know.
A special tournament. I can't say much about it, but it's gonna be a very nice tournament, and I think everyone's gonna watch it. Maybe the same amount of viewership as Ignite, if not more.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna say. Prize pool. Ooh, I can't. Hey, I'm not gonna say more.
Hey,
But
I'll say it for you. Don't say anything about the prize pool or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to lose my partnership. Anyways, three categories of people in Rivals. Okay, we have the Gooners. We have the normal people, and we have the edgelords. Okay, the edgelords, they play Bucky, Psylocke. They have like these names in their iGens, like I Miss Her, Starry Night, Dark Night. You know, those people are the people you make money off. The normal people, not so much. But the Gooners, you drop a black and red bikini Luna skin, like Shibi says, millions. You drop a black and red masked Bucky skin, millions, because everyone wants to be like him, but they're not like him. So I think if they make orc skins for teams that finish either number 1 in their region, so 100 Thieves skins because they finished number 1 in America, or VP skins because they finished 1 in Europe, or the teams that got top 3 in LAN, then you're gonna make insane amounts of money, and teams are more incentivized to join.
Okay, I respect the opinion on that too, and I feel like that's pretty realistic on that side of things. But I'm not too
Also,
surprised.
for the record, like we should have more than like 3 weekends worth of content per Ignite stage.
That's so true. That is so
I
true.
feel like 6 weekends worth of Ignite over the course of an entire year is not enough.
True.
Yeah, we do need a lot more content in terms of the esport itself, and I hope we do get a lot of that for the future of Marvel Rivals esports. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen to improve things, but you know, they're going from having nothing to building something, now building something to it being one of the best things out there. I think that's like what their vision is for the next year, is to make it as good as it can be. This was just like establishing the groundwork to actually get to where they want to for next year. And not too surprised, again, just going back to the tournament thing, that they are having some tournaments planned, because, again, last year we saw, before even Ignite was announced, the Marvel Rivals Invitational, which is what they call MRI, technically. Marvel Rivals Ignite is just Marvel Rivals Ignite. It's not MRI, but we all call it MRI. A little confusing. I think they need to work on that a little bit, too. So, that...
Clarity.
Also, we ignite the
Clarity
battle,
is a big
Vaudeville.
thing.
Yeah, we got to ignite the battle too. Yeah, that's another thing as well. Like some of the wording on that. I do like how they've gotten a little bit better on the promotion on socials, at least for stuff. It took them a long time to announce like the details for the LAN because it was just like a month out that they did it. That I think it was a point that was brought up way earlier on during the show from one of the commenters. I didn't see exactly who it was, but shout out to whoever you are. You'll know who you are. Is that we need announcements at these LANs. If this is where you are having a lot of eyes on your product in terms of the esport itself, and maybe they don't have as many as they would like to currently. I know they want to get, you know, a lot more viewership and eyes on it. Some sort of announcement of, oh, here's a teaser for season 5. Oh, here's a teaser for what's next in just the ecosystem itself, to lead into people's like, hey, here's why you want to keep tuning in and keep participating, not just like leaving it as it is at the end of it. I mean, yeah, we did get like the Cozy saying, yeah, there'll be an announcement next week, and we haven't had the announcement, but you know, that's probably due to whatever stuff going on in the background for it. And that's kind of what I want to talk about here, is like no announcement yet for season 5, and what that looks like going forward. Is, are they just taking their time? Are they just making sure that they consolidate their announcement windows a little bit more going forward to hold on to their player base once it drops, so that they don't get the fatigue of just watching all their favorite content creators in the first week play stuff? I mean, Shibi, I know you have some thoughts on this one.
Yeah, maybe this is like a hot take, or maybe not. I don't know. I kind of miss. I'm older, right? I miss the allure of like not knowing what's going to be in a game, or like what's going to be in something, right? And like obviously online gaming and live service games have kind of evolved to like, hey, you want to give a preview of the content because you want to give people something to come back to, because like that's the kind of game live service games are, right? You come and you go, and if cool stuff drops, new heroes, new battle pass, stuff like that, I get it. But like, yeah, I think giving like a week to early access content creators kind of takes the mystique and fun out of like learning Rogue in this case, or learning Gambit. I'm not saying take them into your ranked game and you don't know any games on. Don't troll my shit. But like,
No, do it.
don't troll me. But like, you know, there is the kind of that fun of like, oh man, a new character releases. Like, I want to go learn. Like, instead of like, Necros has figured out the most optimal combo on this training dummy. You know what I mean? No offense. Like I get it. It's fun labbing, but like, you kind of want to do that yourself. You want to find that creation and find the combos yourself, because that what kind of keeps you like, oh, I just figured out, let me go test it in quick play, let me go test it in ranked or whatever. So if that's what their plan is, I think it kind of sucks, because a lot of people got kind of used to the content cycle of like week this, blah 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 blah. But I think if they do like 2 days only, they do a teaser, here's like maybe some of the abilities they can do, but they don't completely reveal what Gambit and Rogue do, I think that's like a way cooler like initial drop, and like that's gonna keep people coming back on that first week. Like, damn, I don't even really know what they do. Like, what does Gambit do? And then like they come in. For what it's
worth, Imperator and I are both beneficiaries of the week of access, so maybe take our opinions on this with a grain of salt. But I think to like bargain with Shibby here in terms of the week of content, I think that the preview server shouldn't have the battle pass on it.
That's a good idea,
yes.
yeah.
I agree.
100%.
I agree.
I think the preview server should be a build that just has the new heroes potentially, and be like 3 to 5 days. Maybe we don't have the new team ups either. Like, it's just got like the one chunk of content. You can get your sweat lords coming out with like, okay, here's Necros with a 15-piece combo bucket on Rogue. That's our hype content. But on the day it comes out, like, everyone gets to check out the battle pass and like, you know, have a little goon, or have a little edge, depending on which side of the money spending divide they sit on, and everyone gets to find out how the new team ups work as well.
Yeah, I really like that. What about you, Imperator?
It's mystery, right? It's like lingerie. You want a little bit of...
I agree. I think when I was streaming early access, all I was getting asked is like, can you go back to the previous page of Battle Pass? What's in that page of the Battle Pass? Was that just... It shouldn't be like that. Like, everyone should be able to experience the Battle Pass for themselves at the same time. I think on the new season, everyone should be able to see the Battle Pass. Everyone should be able to see the new team ups. The team ups one is a bit of a double-edged sword. If you want to release on the server, because sometimes there were team ups that were released that were buggy, very buggy, and you could abuse. Yeah. So you might want to have the team ups just so you can see if people find any bugs with them. Because we both know Netties is not going to test for bugs, so might as well let the players do it.
Live is testing for bugs. That's where
exactly.
Live is testing for bugs.
My ranked games is where we test for bugs.
Yeah. But I agree with like the 3-5 days, new heroes. Drop the battle pass, do it for new season, and maybe save some for the team ups.
Oh yeah, that might be a good point
I'm not
too.
committed on the team ups thing. I was just thinking of like how best we can partition like all the new content.
Yeah.
Because it's a hero, it's a map, it's a battle pass, and generally it's team ups. So you could take a couple of those away.
Yeah,
I think cosmetics is keeping cosmetics hidden. I think is the best thing, and like any gameplay stuff, I think that's like where the line you draw. But when it's everything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like seeing like 50 TikToks of like, oh my God, look at this new skin for Jeff. And I'm like, all right, bro. Like, thanks for ruining it. I just wanted to go in and do it myself.
Yeah.
I make those TikToks. I'm victim. I
know. It's okay. I get it. It's the content
dark
cycle.
Side content creator Imperator at it again.
I mean, you got to do
what you got to do for clicks. You got to do what you got to do.
I get it. Look, I get it. You have to. You either are shameless or you're not. I understand completely.
Exactly. I'm shameless.
No, I get it. And I think, yeah, the battle pass is probably the best way to do it. That way you just like save that for later. But I think they're also like, oh, we're partnering with these big streamers. We want them to show these things. And chat does make a good point there, Empty, saying like maybe they weren't supposed to show that first. And I think that was the case for one of the earlier ones of like XQC who did show it anyway. And then like they saw how many clicks that got as well. And it's like, oh, let's just keep doing this, because people like it. And then I think people are getting fatigued from it now because they're like, oh, let me just wait for Necros to have his camera on and then watch him look at the announcement video and, oh, he's going to be doing a preview 2 hours later that he has the timer on his stream, the counting down to it, and let me tune into that, So there's like a couple different ways that they can do it. I think 3 to 5 is a good number for it. I think this time specifically because they did confirm that on the 12th there will be some sort of preview. And then the 14th is when it actually drops. So it's only 2 days this time. I mean, any thoughts on that short of a window for a turnaround in terms of like actually seeing the new hero, whoever it is, that comes first?
I think it's fine. The problem with early access is first day of early access, preview with the streamers, amazing. Second day, other content creators, me, Leg Day, others, we get to play custom lobbies. Very active. Third day, custom lobbies, we still get to play. And then from the third and day on, you have to make your own bot lobbies. Because there's not going to be many people playing the early access service anymore. So I think it's good that there's like a short window this time. Because you have the hype, you have the early access, and then we go straight into live. And I think the best thing that they did, the previous release for Daredevil, is that they actually invited streamers who play the game. Almost all of the streamers that they invited play the game. Like, there's no point for NetEase to invest like half a billion, $1 million to get Kai Cenat or Agent or other creators to play the game that don't even play Marvel as the main game. Like, they're gonna play the game, they get paid, and their audience is gonna see the game. Maybe like a couple of people are gonna say, okay, I want to play this game, but then the streamers go back to playing their own stuff and like doing other stuff. And
exactly.
It's not about Marvel Rivals anymore. You might as well invest the money into creators who actually care.
100%. Why are we getting IRL streamers to play Marvel Rivals for a couple of days? Like,
who don't even know how to play shooters. It's like
exactly. Pay me and Leg Day to play the game for the preview. Hey, me and Leg Day can preview it. I'm down.
There you go.
Contact me, Guang Guang.
Please, Guang Guang. I mean, that's another cool thing too, is that we did see Guang Guang and Ziyang and those guys actually at the event, like interacting with fans and being in the crowd watching everything. I feel like there's so many instances where you don't see that direct correlation from the devs being there in person, watching it with the fans and like in the crowd with them. And like, yeah, they weren't the whole time, but through a lot of it, you got to see people just like going up to them in between breaks and whenever there was downtime for like bands, taking photos with Guang Guang and that. I mean, that's one of the cooler things that we are seeing with NetEase, that they're being a little bit more open in terms of just like having that physical presence at that LAN that we saw this past weekend. So, I mean, seeing that's really cool, and hopefully we do see that in the future as things get bigger. I know as things get bigger, it's harder to have that because they need to be doing their own things in the background and whatever they can in terms of involvement for that. But going forward from this, so we talked a lot about MRI. We've talked about the current future hopes that we have, the orgs pausing their involvement because they're shitters and didn't make it to the finals. I'm sorry. I feel so bad saying that. But it is what it is.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Speak it.
Tell me ain't true. Tell me it ain't true. Show me a Wikipedia results page which disproves this theory.
That's true. It was cool that we got XQC on the desk because, that gives a lot more cadence to the casual audience to try and get involved and like watch this. Like, oh, this guy's, here dressed up, which is cool to see. And actually like answering some decent questions for it on that side too. Hopefully we get more endemic creators involved there as well. That is another thing I forgot to bring up as well. We didn't have in-person watch parties this time. We had that for the mid-season. So, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that, not having that? And there was like some watch parties towards the end where they did like the combined viewership that you can now do with those like collaborations and stuff for Twitch, but like
infrastructure.
Yeah, we didn't have like those people in person doing their own stuff, like the couch. Yeah,
I think it's because of Dreamhack. In China, you had Guangzhou, you had NetEase's own stuff. There was like a lot of NetEase involvement with the building and whatnot. Dreamhack, like, you're walking up to Dreamhack and saying, "Hey, you have Valorant, you have CS, you have all these things, but we want our own spot in this room for this and that."
Yeah,
you can't really make it happen for Rivals at this stage. When it's in China, it's a lot easier for NetEase to do stuff like that.
Yeah, we gotta be Clash of Clans, then we'll get it.
we gotta be Clash of Clans. Yeah,
this is why we clash.
It's quite simply a Dreamhack thing. Like, you just don't have as much control over the space.
You can't just bring a couch in from Facebook Marketplace and be like, "Hey, let's just place it down."
I mean, I feel like you could if it's ESL who's running the event, are the ones putting on the production. But hey, that's just me being pedantic about it. Either way, MRC is happening here soon, actually this weekend. Tomorrow it starts for the top 8s as well. So kind of seeing how that's going to be going down. This is the Americas teams on PC. Not really looking at consoles. Sorry, console guys. I mean, it is what it is. There's a scene for it, but not really much support on that side of things. Yeah, so these are the teams who made it into the top 16. Some of the players. Yeah, Shikigami you recognize. Nightmare Academy we have out there. Cafe Rose.
Nightmare Academy?
Yeah, Nightmare Academy has a team.
Did their main team even make playoffs?
I don't. Do they still have a main team? I mean,
do they still have a main team? Why are they starting an Academy team if they can't even make Ignite?
Yeah, Rad Academy as well.
Listen, their main team, they sold it to Sentinels.
Have their graphic designers here. That stuff looks great.
Yeah, but Nightmare, Gosu Academy, Gosu gamers, they were like a Overwatch tabloid, I guess, at one point.
They were a competitive platform, if I remember correctly. They were like the.
It was like they reported on stuff first, and then they did tournaments, and then they did a little bit of both. Because I had someone who used to work there at one point, way back when. But yeah, now they have like an academy team too. So where do we feel MRC fits in the grand scheme of Marvel Rivals esports right now? Is it tier 3? Is it tier 2? I've heard some mixed opinions about this. I mean, Leg Day, what are your thoughts?
It could be a weird delineation. I think that next MRC is going to be tier 1, presumably.
Yeah,
because I imagine whatever happens to MRC season 5, like Virtus Pro can turn up or whatever. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I assume because Ignite's like not going to be on presumably for a while.
That's true.
All the teams can join MRC. I think this one is probably tier 3. I think you could say tier 1 of the teams who managed to go to LAN, tier 2 of the teams that made it to Ignite but didn't go to LAN, and tier 3 of the teams that didn't get to Ignite but can still pop off in MRC. But for what it's worth, I think MRC has been improving fantastically. I think we now have loser picks in maps.
Okay,
in MRC,
it's not random. That's great.
Which is a
random.
great innovation. Yeah. Like we're seeing a lot. Like one of the things that really gives me faith in this esport is we're seeing a lot of shit from the devs that just doesn't get noted in the patch notes, which is iterating on their in-game esports product. Like we've got loser picks maps now in MRC. There's a dedicated UI for it. They're improving the replay viewer as well without even talking about it.
That's nice.
So like I think that there's yeah. And like, yeah, I was going to answer your question about like what I did in the tech pauses for the co-stream. The second that the map finished, like 3 minutes later, the replay was in game. So I just popped back to the last map and I just did a bit of replay viewing because they were just instantly uploading it. Like they're very on top of things on like a technical side.
Good to hear. Yeah. Talking about the teams here specifically, I mean, Shibby, any notes that you have for like teams to look out for out there? I saw Nightmare Academy like literally yesterday. And they were doing pretty decent. They stomped through another competition, Height Diff. They took down in like 3-1 fashion. Height Diff, I feel like they're going to struggle a little bit here. But there's been some like upsets in these matchups too, like Rad Academy. Rad's had some like decent performances before. They went to 5 against Tricksters, who are in the upper bracket, and then lost. Team Guilty. I mean, for people who might not know these teams, are you familiar with any of these squads for people to keep an eye on this weekend for the top 8?
I mean, I'm just waiting for the ensuing pillaging of whoever the top team is, and then some team just like, I'm gonna just vulture the best players. Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. Like that's what all the teams should be doing. By the way, if you're like a tier 1 team or you're a tier 2 team or whatever, if you consider this
rosters,
like a tier 2 tournament, you should be looking through this and like really just like maybe you don't have to look at all the matches, right? But like I think quarterfinals onwards, like you should really be looking at like, hey, who can I pick up here? Like Cafe Rose is a team that me and you are familiar with, Vaudable.
Yeah.
Obviously the rosters have gone through a couple changes, but they've placed really well in like some of the tournaments that we've casted. I would say some of these academy teams, like I'm sure Rad Academy and Nightmare Academy, like they would. I mean,
we know Alfie from Gosu Academy, Paradox, Nightmare Academy. Like those are names that have been around for a while. They're pro builder too on Gosu Academy. So and Shikigami's got some solid ringers as well. So like there's some players who have been kind of on that tier 2 bubble for a while that placed into Igniter, like barely got right outside of it too for these players as well. So like I think the big thing is just for these teams to continue to participate in these and hope that these players get some shots based on their performances in it. I think that's like the main thing for anyone who's outside of tier 1 and tier 2 looking to get into it, right? I mean, like you come from Overwatch, and I've seen there was contenders, and then there was the league, and now what it is currently with like the open system. I mean, do you think this is a decent way for those teams to find talent and for talent to rise through those ranks to try and make it into the spotlight that is whatever the next version of Ignite will be?
I think the baseline of every esport, there should be a rule. If you win every game you play, you're the best team in the world. And that was not the case for Overwatch for a long time, which was a very contentious point for those of us in the scene. But on a realistic pathway here in Marvel Rivals, you could join MRC, win every game, go to Ignite. You could go to Ignite, win every game, go to World Championships or mid-season. You can go to those LAN events, win every game, and you're the best team in the world. And I think that it's like, so long as you have that path where advancement comes, if you are good and you win, then like there's only so bad it can get, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so long as you've got the baseline of advancement, like that's that. Sometimes some fucky wuckies are gonna happen. Like maybe you're gonna get like maybe you're one step away from getting to Worlds. But if you'd won that game, you would have gone. So like, so long as you're not making it because you lose, rather than you're not making it because like there's some artificial ceiling on like your tier, then I think that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. No, I
It's a good
respect
filter.
that as well.
It's a good filter.
Yeah, that too.
Is there
I
an EU version of this?
Yeah, there is an EU version. I was about to go look at that one real quick
Oh, yeah.
too. Shout out to the
yeah, I
Marvel Rivals
also-
wiki, by the way. It's now an official wiki
Yeah.
on Liquipedia,
Yeah.
so or Liquipedia, not wiki. So it's cool that we have that support too. You can actually like look up some of the tournaments that are out there. They're always looking for more people to help, by the way. So if you are a Liquipedia editor or are interested in stuff like that, make sure you help out because it's all volunteers that are making this actually updated in real time, so you can like see the matches for Pacific and China and EMEA and on all that. I don't know if they have. Okay, they do have the brackets here for these teams. So Silent Nova, Planet Savage, Youngstar, Crownfall, Virtus, DNL, Legends. I think that's what that is, or Legends. Legends, yeah. Croc
Legions,
Sprain and
Legions,
Ego
yeah.
Breakers. So I'm not gonna go fully over this scenario. Ego Breakers and I think it was Fat C4th. I remember seeing there was a little thing on Twitter where one of the players had their like coach play as a ringer. They essentially had a ruling of that where they disqualified that coach from playing on the team. It's nice to see that there's actual like consequences happening. I know like people are wanting more for these sort of events for MRC, timing wise, whatever else have you for it. I feel like outside of that, we need more strict and structured consequences and rules in terms of like account sharing. There's been people who've played in MRC that were actual Ignite players at the same time that left their roster so that they could play it and then didn't win, which is the funniest thing too. I think it was like some sub from 100 Thieves ended up doing that at one point. I mean, in terms of competitive integrity, there just needs to be a little bit more focus on that. I feel like from the admin side of things, I mean, what do you guys think in terms of like what they can do to improve that to make the players happy, but also like not be too crazy about it as well?
I think I have to recuse myself from this question.
That's valid.
Yeah. I'm gonna recruit myself as well.
You know what? Why not? Let's talk. Why not? Why?
Well, what I
mean,
can say is that I think the MRC side on Europe is way better than America side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this because I'm biased, but if you look at the brackets, can I see the brackets? I think it's way more Ignite players from EU that are
like to see
playing
the
compared to
players
NA.
here.
Yeah, the
Silent
players
Nova's
like
essentially the Yazan stack.
so I can so Silent Nova, Yazan stack could be an Ignite team easily. Planet Senage, Zenny, I think played for Peps in the past or not?
Yeah.
Not
Pink
sure.
Clone's on there as well.
Pinklone as well, L9
Oh,
player.
yeah, Z-Fraud's on that
the
team, too.
Lions. Saint Amoto on Alter Zenith. Saint Amoto was in L9. They beat All Business with Tuzi on their team, so that's also a team. And then look at WeBand DD. Garafa, Luke the Ninja, Frankie Box and team captain. Yeah, that's a meme team, but it's a really strong team as well. And Error Terror, Z10 player. And from what I'm seeing, that should be about it. But yeah, there's a lot more Ignite players in EU side of MRC than NA. I think the only Ignite player I saw in NA was Alfie. But
yeah, that was the only one that
Used to
I
play for LG,
recognized as
right?
well. Yeah.
yeah.
I think Paradox may have been one as
Yeah,
well.
Paradox as well. Yeah. or at least like
A lot of Saudi Arabian teams. I just realized. Wow.
I was about to say that too. Yeah, there's a lot of Saudi Arabian representation here for EMEA and Ignite, and it's nice to see that there's more kind of regions represented in EMEA. I know it's tough for Americas because the ping difference from South America and North America and all that kind of stuff. I know like a lot of players are wanting to see more in regards to their own competitions, but I think the biggest thing here for like a lot of devs out there is that there's not really the infrastructure, unfortunately, in South America for them to have their own region and their own tournaments and all that, especially in year 1 or even year 2. It could be like a year 3 or 4 thing down the line. Like going back to what I'm used to from Rocket League, we only had Europe and North America for years. And then eventually we got South America and we had Middle East, North Africa. Then we had OCE, we have APAC, and then SSA as well. So it's like it takes a long time to build up interest in those regions, but also enough of a following and fan base and player base to actually like participate in it as well. So that's a tough thing to see there on that side. But it's nice to see that there's so many different that can still competitively play here in EMEA, MRC on this side of things too. But yeah, going back to that previous point, should be I don't want to go past it too much, but I think it's just like a thing in terms. I'm someone who has admin experience. I do adminning for the RLCS, which is the Rocket League Championship Series, and have done some with like other esports out there at the top level. It always just comes down to establishing clear guidelines and making sure that you keep those rules in check. And at the end of the day, admin decisions stay. It doesn't really matter like what the players think about it. You just kind of have to roll with the punches. This is what the admin says. You go with it. You can say whatever you want about the decisions that are out there, but unfortunately, there's some mistakes that happen. I don't think this was necessarily a mistake. I think they just did what they could in the time, and then eventually, if they say, "Hey, there's this much outcry about it, there's this much thoughts about it," we'll revisit it later on once we have another version of MRC, another version of Ignite. It's like, okay, maybe we need to change this rule to update it to where the competitive scene is at currently. And I think that's something that, like, as Marvel Rivals Esports gets bigger and as more people try to find ways to exploit things and find their own ways through the rules and through different things, is that they can tighten things up that way. And that's just how a game evolves from the admin side of things too. So
yeah, I mean, I pretty much echoing right what you're saying is like, unfortunately, like very rarely can you do anything about an admin decision once it's happened. If you make a big enough stink about it on social media and stuff, then yeah, you can be like the catalyst for a future rule change. I'm not gonna speak too much on like the decision that happened or anything like that. It is what it is now, right? But like, I think setting clear guidelines, like understanding what people do, like if there's something that affects tournament results, severe punishment. If it's on the lines of like, hey, X team is late to their match by 15 minutes or whatever, or they were stalling, that it's like you lose a map, or not you lose a map, like you don't get to ban or something like that.
Yeah, like having clear guidelines like that is huge for that too. I remember specifically like for the Rocket League Championship Series, there was this team that was like one of the top squads out there, and they had one of their players' powers go out, and they're like, oh, can we like try and stretch this as much as can? And they had to DQ individual maps until they had to DQ the entire series. And well, we had a similar scenario with another team happen the exact same way. And because you already ruled on that, you can't change those rules, right? You have to keep it consistent throughout all of it. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that they are keeping consistent with their rulings on everything so far with what they've been doing. And then as long as they keep that going in the future, it can only get better for there in terms of the player aspect of it and the admin side. So we'll move past that specifically. MRC here, any specific teams, Imperator? I mean, you mentioned the players. And Leg Day, I know you're probably more familiar with EMEA as well. Anything that you think people that are tuning into MRC this weekend, because I know I think you're going to be on it as well, but some of the other talents for Ignite, there will be a broadcast this weekend from what I've heard for MRC. What can we expect from these squads? Do you think any of them are going to be like the standout team, just the teams that are in the upper bracket, teams in the lower bracket? Who are you guys hopeful for?
Silent Nova. I think Silent Nova is probably the strongest team in this tournament. Seynaj kind of played. How do I make this comparison without being rude? Hold on. So you have. Well, Seynaj is a McDonald's team, and the reason they've gone so far in upper bracket is because they fought Burger King teams. So basically, a bit of a worse chain. So I think when Seynaj goes against Silent Nova, it's going to be a clean sweep. I don't know if it's best of 5, best of 3. In the upper bracket semifinals.
Yes, it's going to be best of 5.
Best of 5. It's probably going to be a 3-0. I've streamed Seynaj. I think Silent Nova is probably gonna take number 1 spot. The underdogs in this tournament for sure are they eliminated?
These ones
Where's
right
Team Captain's
here.
team?
Which team?
We banned DD. Oh, they went out in lower bracket round
Yeah,
16.
yeah.
Oh well, my bad.
Crocs Brain
Yeah,
was the one who
never
took
mind.
them
They're
out.
not the
yeah.
underdogs. They're just under.
We
They're
banned
just
DD, the
Or
first
dogs.
team that bans Daredevil first against them every single time 3-0'd them.
Okay, well, yeah, they have 3
Couldn't
Daredevil
see it
players. So
coming.
yeah, I think Silent Nova and who's Youngstar and Crownfall? You see the
You want to see the rosters?
Youngstar and Crownfall.
yeah the roster for Youngstar and
There you
Crownfall.
go. This is
That's
Crownfall
Mix
right
on
here.
Roster. Oh yeah, they're next to each other. Saudi team, I guess, versus.
Saudi team, yeah.
Oh, Whoops! I've seen them around.
Sovio Jikes. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, I think
Youngstar probably takes that.
probably Crownfall. I think Crownfall.
Really?
I think I recognize them
think?
okay from like a previous MRC.
I think that Planet Sinage versus Silent Nova is just going to be the grand final again. I
Oh,
think
yeah?
that
Just
these-
whoever
those are
wins
the top
that,
two
then
teams.
they'll go through the lowers. Whoever loses to rematch and everything.
Yeah. I do hope we get to see one of the Saudi teams play in like an actual Ignite setting, like the good Saudi players, because like I didn't say like Paradox isn't bad, but the really good Saudi players couldn't qualify because of the Rad incident where the roster got dropped and they were forced to play qualifiers.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's only like 1 or 2 more spots. Like I felt bad for like whoever had to go up against them, but I think Silent Nova is a really good team.
I guess that's
Yeah,
another
I think
thing
that
too
wins.
that we didn't really talk about that I hope they improve for next year is the way that the orgs hold spots over the players.
Yeah.
It's great for orgs sustainability so that they can, keep things going, support whoever they need to. But if you're having the world champions or mid-season champions having to play through qualifiers after winning the event, that should never happen, in my opinion. And I hope
agree.
if there is any instance of them thinking, hey, we might have something like this happen in the future, that they do not do that. Because
Also, selling org spots is crazy.
That
like
too.
teams selling their spots. Teams selling their spots. Wow.
Yeah,
That's,
I mean,
that's gotta go. Like you can't just I'm gonna sell this spot for like a cool 20-30 grand and like
Chad has a good
Yeah,
question.
Like,
here,
that's the
Senator.
crazy
Do you
thing. When
have
I
a
saw that
raw
on Twitter,
onion
I was
again?
like, damn. We're just flipping spots over here.
Oh man.
Also, the lower bracket. Who's in the lower bracket?
Lower bracket?
Which teams?
That is Crocs Brain in Ego Breakers and Virtus DNO versus Legends.
The Russian
mean, if,
team with the that's like Andrejko's team, I believe, with Bezip or whatever.
Because-
Intubated.
Oh, I mean, if they can't cheat with their coach this time, so like, I think you're just gonna lose. It's fine.
Oh man, that's how it goes for that kind of stuff too. So we're pretty much through most of the content for this. So again, there is also the Pacific MRC. I want to show that just so that we at least have it, so that people can kind of keep a look at it. Let me see if there's any notable players on any of these rosters too. And if they're even in the competition still.
Oh shit! Illicit's on
Yeah, I
one
was
of
about
those
to say
rosters.
that.
Wait, illicit?
And Ancient too. Okay.
Can you
Okay.
see if
Interesting.
they're using Illicit's Soul Dynasty picture?
Oh yeah, let me see.
Because he's a blue name.
no picture.
Ah.
Oh wait. Let me. It does have a picture. I just need to move the screen 1 sec.
Oh.
Let me just do an awkward crop. There you go. You can see it now.
Oh.
I don't think it is.
He looks like a volleyball player in that. Who put on those clothes?
No,
Who designed
I
that
think-
clothes?
I think that's his contenders picture from.
Looks
He
like
didn't
it.
do
Yeah.
amazingly on the Soul Dynasty.
But yeah, so there's some
Fair
notable players here, at least in the Pacific side of things too. So Xavier Hope, 6969X.
Oh, where's that all Indian team? I've
A lot
not
of
seen
DQs.
many.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Indian team?
there's
I think
Is
this
it
is not
Asian?
configured correctly, so ignore this right now. I think they still need to set it up properly.
there's also like a half Filipino team or like I think I saw a half Filipino roster. Yeah.
Oh, there's the Indian
right,
team,
right.
Descent Esports.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Oh yeah.
that's cool. I like that we have more like single country teams that are like signing up for these events too and like playing amongst themselves to see how far they can go with things as well. I'm curious too. Do you guys think that OCE and Asia should be combined for next year based on, we haven't seen like the greatest sign up numbers. I know like some teams even when watching the qualifications from MRI into the actual like main events and all that too. Oh, that's me. Excuse me. Let me fix this real quick. There we go.
Look at me when
Take the
I'm
spotlight. Take the
talking
spotlight.
to
Go
you.
ahead.
The spotlight.
Look
Yeah.
at me when I kill your region.
But like in terms of participation, like was it too early for OCE and Asia to be separate instead of them being
Yes.
combined? Because we have seen so many different esports where they are their own kind of thing together. And in terms of like signups, they've kind of lacked. In we even had teams qualify for the top 32 who didn't win a single map. They went 0-10 to actually like get into it for OCA and Asia, I believe too. So like numbers wise, are those regions there yet to be still separate in the future? Do you think? I hope they are, just so that there's still more support and spots and all that. But it's like a tough conversation to have.
I
And
got
China is
2
weak.
points on this.
Go.
The first is that I think that these regions probably know better what works for them. I don't know what kind of ping you get playing from
True,
Australia
yeah.
to Asia. Like, would it be debilitating in terms of their competitive viability? But also, I think there's some valuable there's some valuable experience to be had from OCE having its own region as well. As like a major English-speaking market, that's a big Marvel market, and having like a place where they have their own community where everyone knows each other and they can exchange these games is probably like pretty valuable for like even if they just like push out one really good team like
Yeah.
Chopper Mag, like maybe they don't need 2 spots. Sorry, Liger. Sorry, Matsy. Like maybe they don't need 2 spots if one team's just gonna push their way through. But like if you've got that community and they can push out one really good team towards international competition, then I think it's worth having that region.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with that too. But yeah, so hopefully we do see things continue. There's so many different things that can change in terms of the future of Marvel Rivals Esports. But our final bit here before we close out the show is a bit of a Q&A. If anyone has any questions to ask our lovely people that are on the show, now is the time in the chats or anything of that sort. Let us know. Also, if you are in the Discord, let us know too. There's not as many people tuning in there. I wanted to try and test things out for this thing as well. Oh, okay. Garrett does have a question here actually in the Discord. Can anyone answer why it's so incredibly difficult to find teammates and rivals? I've been spamming everywhere for 12 days with no success. What is the deal? What's the best advice to find
Just
teammates, guys?
find one person that like you agree on how you play the game. You can be any duo. You could be a tank duo. You could be a duelist duo. 1 tank, 1 DPS, whatever. It could be support. But you gotta just find like one person. You can't be for the streets in Rivals. Like that's not how it works. You gotta find the one person that you can duo with, especially with obviously rank restrictions and stuff, depending on what rank you're aiming for. But you just gotta find that one person and like just grind games with them because like it's a very noticeable jump. If you're playing Dive, for example, and like one of you is playing Venom and the other one's playing Black Panther, that duo can just completely run lobbies because most support lines are eating glue in solo queue.
I can answer also for Garrett as someone who's played solo queue for 26 hours straight yesterday. Run your games down, throw them. If your team doesn't agree with you, throw them. If you're in low elo, what you should be doing is play what's meta. Okay, play Bucky or play Psylocke or learn Daredevil. Learn anything that's meta, and you will climb 100%. If you focus your energy into playing what's meta, you will climb 100%. Look at high elo streamers. What are they complaining about? What is Necros crying about? That's what you should play. Anything they are crying about is what you should play. Go on Twitter. What are they crying about? Play that. Play what's meta. Right now, the most easy to play hero. I'm a tank support player. Okay, I got a lobby into Munkmuta, Saipe, Blacksu, and one other pro, and I second time Bucky and I won because that hero is just brain damaged. It's so strong, so broken. Anyone can play it. Just look at what's meta and play it. And if your team is doing bad, don't get tilted. Just throw the game, so you don't get tilted yourself.
Okay. Don't get tilted. Throw the game.
Hold up, I specify I'm looking for friends and not to get carried. Is the game totally okay? So I can probably give some insight on this. Your best place, in my opinion, to look for that kind of community is in mid-sized streamers. Like mid-sized rivals-focused streamers, if you join their communities, if you join their discords, Like people are playing together all the time. I know that my Discord, it always has people queuing and like GM together. They didn't know each other before my stream. They talked to each other in chat and they became good teammates together. And like they're not like an MRC team, but they played together all the time. Like don't look at big servers where like the rank range is too wide. Looking like pros streams where you've got people who are like interested in the game at a high level, like mid-sized pro streams, like maybe you go to a TTK. Maybe you go to like maybe you go to Imperator stream, and there are some people in there who like who are interested in like competitive rivals and they want to play at the high level. And like my stream as well, not to overplug, we have a lot of people who just love to play together at like the Diamond GM level. Like those mid-sized communities where it's a little bit hard to screen you out, and where like the host, like Imperator or I, will like talk to you and acknowledge like and like get interactions going. That's going to be where you have your best chance of actually finding like long-term queuing partners.
Solid advice.
Those like giant LFG servers are like practically useless.
Yeah,
As we're in one right now.
Listen.
There's no
The advantages of this is different, right?
It is different. It's mainly for like the higher level aspect, and when you're trying to be like top competitor, I would say for this kind of a server specifically for that. But yeah, in terms of finding friends, go to Imperator, go to Leg Day servers. Definitely recommend that. You can also on the Twitch, you can click their names and go to their actual Twitches, and then you can find their Discords and socials and everything for that as well.
I can literally see 3 GMs trio queuing in my server right now.
There you go. There you go. You can just hop right in, easy as a pie.
And I can see. Let me see. I can see 2 people on my server complaining about the game meta. That's right. That's my community.
Yeah,
right there.
you know, that's how
That's
it
my
goes.
community. I'm proud. I'm so proud. Stupid ass meta.
Pretty soon they'll be making tier lists. Pretty soon,
Yeah.
they grow up so fast.
Oh man,
Do you like
great.
the meta, Vodable? Have you played it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing more recently. I hadn't played since like season 1.5 in ranked, so I started from the bottom, and now I'm still in Elo hell, unfortunately. Playing against GMs who are just starting to play the game again, which is great, or Smurfs. It's been awesome, unfortunately for that.
Even the pros.
So, yeah.
Well, even the pros are complaining on Twitter now. Did you see Pokey? Pokey complained on Twitter. Every time I go to America, it's dive. If you don't have dive, you lose. And I full-heartedly agree with him.
Yep.
If you don't have a Venom Angela or like Daredevil is a permaman. Like it has to be the most broken hero in the game.
Oh, yeah, I just carried with Angela recently. That's so good.
Yeah.
No, man. North American Celestial Plus is either filled with the dive team or you get fucking 3 support teams. I don't want to play against either, and it's so disgusting, man. Let's just open up
Jeff
on Midtown with Rocket, Mantis, Adam. Fuck, man. Like I'm tired of playing against. Sorry. I'm
game today on Araco, and the second we logged in, 4 people flashed up Cloak and Dagger. I was like, oh, okay.
4 Cloak Lords, 4 Psy Lords, Jeff Lords, Rocket Lords. There's no talent, there's no passion. They just want to play for a virtual number.
They just want the win.
They want to play for points.
That's all that matters. They want that elo. That's all they want, and they don't care how they get it. If they like talk smack to your team because you're just lost 1 fight, that's all they care about, and then they'll stop playing.
They want to get their little rank 1 screenshot for Twitter. Well, guess what? 75% of pros weren't playing because of Atlanta. Your rank 1 is meaningless. The ladder is inflated.
Mickey Mouse ladder.
Mickey Mouse ladder.
Great. Going back towards the questions that some people had as well. Overwatch recently announced that they are bringing back their World Championship. Now, seeing that there's been some talk about that in Rivals, I mean, do you think we should have something like that in the future, and what would that look like? I mean, I know we're not there yet, but Leg Day, you can definitely speak about this. Overwatch, like the World Championship itself, is part of the reason why so many pros like got their start. I mean, I think I remember seeing Jake on Twitter mentioning like that's how he got noticed. I mean, having some sort of national competition that people can play with people from their own country and represent, how important is something like that into the ecosystem of esports in general for these teams and for the players themselves, do you think?
I actually think it's not as important for the players.
Okay.
Like, I think the players are going to get to the pro level if they're good enough regardless. Like, it could be their big break. It is much more important for the viewers. Like, viewers, like, they give a shit when it's their country. Like,
the French.
Overwatch's World Cup has never failed to bang. It has never failed to bang. It is always a top tier product because everyone wants their country to be the best. Like, you've got an initial stake. Like, as much as I love Virtus Pro, I can tell some normie, Virtus Pro are playing. They're like, don't give a shit. cool. Have fun. Like England's playing. They're gonna score some fucking goals.
Fine, he's coming home, bro. He's coming home. He's coming home.
He's coming home, boys. He's coming
He's
home.
coming fucking home.
Where's our chat? My favorite image during World Cup, any sort of international events, anytime European teams lose, my favorite image is to spam this image. It is the funniest thing. Like World Cup does. If I'm not getting death threats from French accounts, we have lost as a community, man. Like
I agree.
like,
I agree. Always rage with the French.
Like it's the funniest. We need a World Cup, even though we're not there yet. 100% agree. Like people are just intrinsically nationalistic. Like,
Did you see my list
like,
on the World Cup?
what determines if we're there yet for a World Cup?
how are they going to do
What's the threshold you have to pass?
viewership process as well? Like we've already talked about, like, you know, NetEase not having the most clear guidelines. I don't remember how Overwatch did it in years past. I remember they like a designated coach. There was a tryout system. I remember watching the ones for like NA and Canada way back, right? Like, how does that process work for Overwatch? Like, I think you can speak to that a lot more than me. Or
yeah, like they have a committee that gets voted in by registered players in the geographic like jurisdiction. And the thing is, Overwatch has already solved this. Steal it.
Just do a little stealing, easy.
like they've already solved it. Overwatch has nailed this. They've nailed the format. They've nailed the investment. Just do that. Like we've basically been stealing esports formats since like bracket play was invented.
That's true.
Just do
100%.
that.
Okay.
yeah,
Just steal
Rivals
it.
should do the same. Steal it. But Rivals needs viewership because look, you have either esports World Cup, you have PUBG Mobile. Now you're gonna say, why does PUBG Mobile have it but not Marvel Rivals? Well, the entire region of India and China watch it. You have millions of viewers that want to watch it, even though it's a mobile game. Viewership is very important for esports World Cup.
So we have Mace here in the chat. I'm going to invite him to speak. Hopefully nothing crazy happens, and hopefully it does go through. We'll see. We'll see what Mace has to say.
Wait. Time out.
boy.
Mace. Wait. The guy that Gamer QC owned, that Mace.
Fuck
That
you,
Mace?
Imperator. Fuck you, Imperator.
You didn't qualify for playoffs. Fraudulent
Fuck
team. Fraudulent
you,
team.
Imperator.
Yo,
This
Gamer
guy,
QC son.
no.
Gamer
This
QC
guy
son.
queued up
Fraudulent
NA ranked 2 days ago and ran my shit down with Craggy, bro.
I didn't run him. Me and Craig didn't run him down. I was MVP.
No.
I was MVP.
I'm kidding.
This
What's
guy
up,
has
boys?
not. This man could not even beat. What team did you lose to again? Sentinels. You lost to flopped roster. Flopteros. You lost to Flopteros, and they made out to Dark Zero.
Congratulations on the coaching gig, by the way.
Thank you. What's up with everybody? What's this whole entire thing up?
We're
going
doing
on?
good. This is Rivals and Rants, by the way. So you're live to the stream currently. We're in the Q&A section. You got any questions that you might have for Imperator, Leg Day, Shibby, or I?
I'm not gonna answer.
So,
anything
but
you
like,
ask
what's
me,
like,
so
what's
I
like the
said.
topic? You know what I mean? Like, what's the?
It's just
topic of
open
discussion?
conversation at this point. We went through like the results from this past weekend, talking about the future of Marvel Rivals, MRC this weekend. I mean, do you have any thoughts on any of that stuff too? Floor is yours, man.
I mean, this season's MRC is kind of like Fraud Watch. It's not really like too. I can't lie. It's not really too interesting. It's just like a bunch of like tier 4 teams battling it out. But like, it's always good to see like new talent and like everything like that. I don't know. I'm more of just like, I don't know. I mean, if there was like a topic of discussion, then I could probably like think of something. But like being put on the spot, I'm like, shit.
How
That's
it
a good
goes.
question
You know?
in chat.
Ooh,
What'd you
which
say?
underdog do you want to win the next Ignite? That's a good question.
Go on, Mace.
Underdog?
Answer that. Which underdog? Don't say yourself.
Well, okay, but like, how do we like underdog player or underdog team?
Team,
Because, like,
Team, yeah.
team.
But the thing is, like, no teams exist anymore. Everybody blew up.
Chopper
So
Mag.
that's
Chopper Mag. Underdogs.
well, yeah. Chopper Mag will stay together because they're still fighting in Oregon shit. But like all the org teams and like NA and mostly EU are like gone for the most part, other than like VP.
Well,
and-
no, NA, because you guys don't have faith in your rosters, okay? FlyQuest dropped 2 players, Sentinels left.
No.
Rod
It's
dropped
not-
their
it's
roster, by
not-
the way. Rod left as well. Guess what? Citadel's staying, Navi is staying, VP is staying, and guess
It's
what? You know
not-
what? I'm gonna say it. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it. Foot is staying as well. So NA is a
Breaking.
fraud region.
It's not about like faith in the roster. It's more about like faith in the game itself, because it's like there is no roadmap at all, and it's like all these teams and all these orgs, they're not leaving. They're just taking like a temporary absence because they have no idea what's going on, and they don't want to be paying players for doing nothing for 6 months. You know what I mean?
That's true.
As a player, what would you like to see happen next year, Mace?
I mean, I just want netties to be a lot more like communicative. I think that's the number one thing, because if they do that, orgs like a lot more orgs will feel safer longevity wise. Like contracts will go longer. There'll be more money for players. There'll be more money for orgs. There'll be better ways to make money, and like it'll be better for everybody. But NetEase needs to find out what they really want to do, and which I'm pretty sure they know they're doing. I don't know how public a lot of the information is, so I won't
Nothing
speak
so
on
far
that.
is public.
Yeah,
So I will say
yeah.
that.
So I won't speak on anything too much,
Yeah.
but like I just want to see them like rein in both the casual and competitive viewers, and then also like retain them, promote it well, do everything well, because like over the last year or so they haven't really done a good job of that, in my opinion, and that's what it kind of shows with the viewership being so low, and everything else like that. I mean, like there are co-streamers who are getting more viewers than them, so it's just like I don't know. But
Tough
yeah,
spot
I
to
think
be in.
Speaking on the viewership angle, I think one thing we need to do next year is cut out the replays on the main channel. Like, I think
Oh,
that
like the 50 billion times they replayed the like finals and
Yeah,
yeah,
everything.
like
Yeah.
I think that kind
Hey,
of
they gotta get ad money. They gotta get ad money.
Yeah, I think that kind of torpedoed the main Twitch channel that they like had 24/7 replays on, like they're a VOD channel. We're out here like we're doing ML7 like 24/7 VODs.
Wait, do you guys want to
Probably
see
shouldn't be doing that.
That's crazy.
next year, 2026? I want to ask all of you. Do you guys want to see something like Overwatch League and Rivals, like a Rivals League?
I mean, it could work. It just
Uh,
depends on how they do it, is the main thing. Like, if they have some sort of like
Yeah.
ascension, if they have some sort of way for people to get involved in it, like, I think, like you said it best earlier, is that as long as there is a way for like the best players and best teams to prove that they are the best by playing in whatever competition that there is, and it's not like gate kept, is the big thing. Like, some sort of way for them to get in or out, promo relegation, some sort of way for that that's not completely closed off. That's all I care about.
Yeah, listen, and like the number one thing, like even with that, is like all they need to do, whatever they do, doesn't matter what they do, they just need to communicate it publicly. Because I have a
And
lot of
before,
friends
like a
who,
month before.
yeah,
Yes, a
like
month on the
I,
main Twitter. On the main Twitter, not on
Yes.
Marvel Rivals Esports Twitter with 5,000 followers. No, on the main
yeah,
Twitter.
like I have a lot of rivals friends, or like I have a lot of friends in general who just have no idea what's
Show
going
off.
on because they're okay.
Look at this guy
Okay,
with
it's not.
friends.
I meant like it's like friends that aren't in the scene also, like they never know when I'm playing or when other teams are playing. Like they don't know what's going on unless I tell them, or they find out like the day of, like literally. And so that's why it's like really frustrating for a lot of viewers to be there for the teams that they support and the players that they support. And it's like I don't know, like they just need to do better going into this next year, in my opinion.
Have a roadmap. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I
Wikipedia
think we
did
just
more
talked about
for
that, right?
Wikipedia did so much. Like I didn't know anything about when the matches are on the Marvel Rivals Twitter because they don't say it. Wikipedia has done more, and they're volunteers, and they're doing more than I'm saying. Shout out to them.
More communication. That's definitely what we need. I guess in terms of like the future of Marvel Rivals, so some sort of league, some sort of open system, and all that too. I mean, what are you hoping from the competitive side of things, though, Mace? In terms of like the heroes and the meta and how that evolves, like the pick and ban system, like anything like that you're hoping to change or see updated for this next year.
I think the pick and ban system is actually really good. I've heard like conflicting statements from like some EU guys that they don't really like that style of ban format, but I think it creates a lot of like it's part of the game, and it creates a bigger like experience and a like more in-depth knowledge of the game, you know what I mean? And compared to like MRC bans, which kind of just like, oh, they're good at this character, ban it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just too simple, and I think like the MRI bans offer like a more advanced input,
Yeah.
but also I want to see them input more, like a lot harder characters to learn and not, especially like in the support role. I think this game is going downhill a little bit because of how easy every single support is in the game. It's like disgustingly easy to play support, and it's like really, really hard to determine, it's really hard to separate the okay support players from the great support players, like in the rivals scene. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how do you really determine that when the skill ceiling is so low? You know what I mean? And I think adding supports that are objectively harder, like they're still good and they can still be really good, but they require more like game knowledge and more skill and more mechanics to actually get that value. I think it would help a lot because a lot of DPS players feel like a lot of like they'll do crazy plays and they'll do crazy things and like they'll try and like show off for the world, and then a support will just press one button and everything they just did is negated. So it's just like, is that really what we want for the future of rivals, or do we want more like, you know, main support, flex support, kind of like how Overwatch was, where, you know, one of your supports had a really good ult and then the other one had like a supporting aggressive ult. You know, like imagine if like Luna Adam was meta. You know what I mean? Like if it was like a Luna Adam mirror, I think that would be a really good meta. And they tried a little bit with a team up that they have, but it's things like that, you know, where it'd be like, oh, that would be a really good meta. Instead of having like the double main support meta, or the double flex support meta that we've had over the past couple of weeks with fucking like Jeff Rocket, Jeff Mantis, Rocket
The
Mantis, like
Zootopia
this like
backline,
absolute,
yeah.
yeah, no, absolute fucking
Furry
zoo animal
backline.
backline. Yeah, no, like I nobody wants to play that shit. Nobody wants to watch that shit. Like there needs to be more skill expression in the back line, in the support line. And
But you might.
I think it's just like this meta got forced onto us because supports quite literally don't have enough to survive. They don't have enough to survive a double tank dive or a two tank dive with a DPS. Like they don't have enough. Like we need a support that can be that block and be that, you know, helpful support, so that it makes it so that we don't have this Luna, maybe like Luna Loki meta comes back and we're all banging our heads against the wall again. Like I
Is
want a
is
meta.
Mace inventing Brig?
That's
Bro
what it
just wants
sounds like.
Brig. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Bro just wants Brig in the game.
Listen.
Kinda
I
does.
see through you, Mace
Listen.
the Vase.
Listen, all I'm saying is
No
if
more
Brig
CC, bro. No more CC,
But
please. There's too much.
But-
What do you
Mace,
think
you
of-
know
but-
there's way too much.
imagine how good the game would be if like Luna Adam 222 was good, or like Luna Rocket, or like Luna Jeff, or like Mantis, like like stuff like that, where it's not just like brain rot, where it's like Jeff Rocket
Yeah.
and run away, or Luna Loki and never die, or Cloak Loki and never die. You know what I mean? And I think like that's like the number one thing that's really frustrating. Or triple support never die. You know what I mean? Like nobody really wants to like nobody wants these things to be a hard meta, but for the last couple of months, there's been like one support backline that's been like hard meta, and if you don't ban it, you lose. That's why there's so many like support bans, and over the like even since like stage
Yeah.
one,
Oh yeah, I
there's been
mean
so many
VP like
support bans.
focused so much on support bans in the grand finals,
Yeah,
even like
Yeah.
against the other
Yeah.
team, just so that they can just get rid of all of it.
FlyQuest,
exactly.
Adam, Loki, Mantis ban.
Yep.
I've got a question for the council. How would we
Okay.
collectively feel about a 25% alt cost nerf? As in, like every
Oh
alt costs
my
25%
God,
more.
please!
Yeah, I think
I
it
mean,
should.
it would.
For the love of God, bro!
I don't know.
Oh, why do
Yeah,
all
he's
build
yeah.
so
Mace is
fucking
nutting right now.
fast
Like,
in this fucking game? Why do they
I just found
build
Mace's
so?
G
No,
spot.
no,
dude, you I don't know what you did. I thought Brig only had it.
No, listen. Do you know how disgustingly fast ults built in this game, I feel bad for people who have to ult track in this game. It's like, oh, they just used this ult. Wait, they just used it again. Wait, it's their third fucking ult
I
in
mean,
one fight.
Look at
Rocket
Sparker
builds-
against
Rocket-
FlyQuest. Look at Spark against
Rocket.
FlyQuest. I don't know
Yep.
who PayPal Spark Chief. I don't know who PayPal Spark Chief in the match against
Dude.
VP, but Spark Chief was playing Groot and Venom into Spark or Psylocke. Look at the replay. Psylocke's ult built in 18 seconds. Hello?
Yeah, and it's so stupid because instead of Sparker doing some crazy shit like flanking the backline, getting a nice one shot, he's just AFK shooting a Groot,
Shooting
so he can get the
tanks.
best
Shooting
ult in a
tanks.
game, man. It's so stupid. Like,
But look in the chat.
what-
Someone asked, "Do you think there should be different balance changes for casual and competitive players?" What do you
No,
think?
that's
if
No,
they-
no,
No,
no, no, no, no, no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no, 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 no. You
That'll-
can't do that.
It'll
Yeah,
never.
that's horrible.
That first of all, one on the content side, that would be terrible. You know what I mean? Imagine being a
Mhm.
high ranked player trying to make content for low ranked players, then you have to be like, oh wait, you guys have a different fucking patch than us. Or
Okay,
like
wait, you're right.
imagine
You're right.
like
You're right. You're right.
imagine being a casual viewer and watching a pro scene not knowing what the fuck is going on because they're playing Penny Rocket Jeff or some like stupid shit. And it's like, no, like that's just like you can't that'll never ever work in any competitive game ever. And I don't think
Yeah.
we'll ever see that.
Just
Wait,
buff Rocket and buff Lucky.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
the game needs to be as close to like the everyman's version as possible, which is why I think, because I'm such a fan of the Ignite bans, we need to remove MRC bans and just do Ignite bans. We should have comp
agree.
bans and
Yeah.
esports bans rather than two different versions of esports.
Because it makes it
bans, like-
confusing for people watching.
Yeah.
Like, why
Yes,
is this
it's-
different than
it's
the other?
really
Oh, is this like
confusing.
everyone banned, or is it only for that team? Like, and especially if they go from watching MRC to watching Ignite finals or something like that, it's like, wait, why is this different? You know?
Yeah.
Dude,
Also,
yeah,
Comp needs
I have
round robin.
explained it.
Comp needs round robin bans. I don't want to ban the same hero as the enemy team. I don't want the bans to be at the
Mm.
same time. I just want one ban and then the other ban for the enemy team, and then I ban and then the enemy team bans again. I don't want double bans because there's already few enough bans. There's only 2 bans
Well-
per team.
Yeah, I proposed a system because the round robin ban is like bad because it increases the amount of time that some like player is in the ban phase rather than the game system, right? All you have to do, netties, please, for the love of God, is just have each player select 2 heroes that they want to ban, and then both systems will ban the heroes at the same time, and you just remove double banning, right? You just can remove double banning
Yes.
that way. That's all you have to do. Like you don't have to increase the uptime in people that are in ban phase. Instead of just choosing one hero, so we don't get double Hella, just have them pick Hella and Namor. And if the other side picks Hella and Namor, oh shit! One side bans Hella, one side bans Namor. Oh my god, dude, it's amazing. Hire me,
So
Netties,
like,
please.
oh, both teams ban silo. Okay, guess what? Jeff is open. Enjoy playing against Animal Crossing backline because you didn't ban the same.
Yeah. And then people lie to you in chat. Oh, we got Angela. They fucking banned Jeff, you lying sack of shit. Like,
That's me.
Nah,
sorry.
yeah, that's dirty gaming. That's unethical
Looking at the
gaming.
Angela afterwards.
Unethical
Who's ready to get
gaming. That's
stabbed?
unethical.
Oh
It's
man.
just so
Yeah.
disgusting to play with. Like it's actually so disgusting. I don't know. Like playing in this last like stage and the transition from 3.5 to 4.0 was just such a slap in the face for like so many players, and it just caught so many teams off guard. And it's just like
Yeah.
This
I mean,
could be
seeing Luna,
interesting.
Adam, and fucking Loki backline and watching 3 reses go off at the same time is beautiful. I literally brought my pillow out when I had to watch that stuff. I was like, this is just, we're like in Mercy meta. We are actually just Overwatch. We are 5-man res. Mercy flies in from the backline, is like, heroes never die. 5 people fucking res. Except this time it's just Adam yelling, born again. And it's like all the same shit, man.
Oh man. Well, we could go on forever about, the meta things that we want for the future and all that, but it's been basically a year now of Marvel Rivals esports. I'm gonna start with you, Mace, then I'll send you back to the audience, and then we'll close out with the rest of the show here too. What is your favorite memory from Marvel Rivals esports first year of existence?
ooh, like the esports.
Yeah. Or just the game too. Either of them works.
I mean, I miss season. I miss the beta and I miss season 0 so much because like if you were around and you were a high ranked player in those in like the beta in season 0, grinding for ranked 1, like doing all these things, it was so much fun. Everybody loved to be there. Like you had every single lobby was full with like 10 to 11, maybe even 12 pros. Like it was so much fun. And I think like now a lot of pro players are kind of like turned away from ranked, especially because of how much like cancer dog shit is being like promoted and like being shared into the fucking ranked community. It's actually just so terrible. And I've heard this is especially like terrible with NA. I've heard that EU is a little bit better when it comes to ranked, but like
Yes.
it's just so bad, man. It's not a good feel. What I will say that NetEase has done a good job is like they have made a system where you don't normally get like 5 DPS players or 5 tank players. Like they've done a pretty good job to where most of the roles are balanced. I know they have something that implemented to like prevent that from happening. So I think that's good. But there are just so many fucking dog shit players in ranked, man. It's so like I'll be grind. The last time I grinded for rank 1,
Okay.
I got stuck with some random Iron Fist one trick who had 200 hours on the character and nothing else. He got banged out and ran the game down. It's like what are we doing, man? Like I don't like in a game with bans and see like it's a little hypocritical of me because I was a one trick in Overwatch, right? But I can't.
You were one trick in Rivals as well. You were a 2-trick in Rivals as well.
No, Imperator, I gift you in
Strange
scrims,
Magneto.
I gift
You were a
in
2-trick
scrims,
for 2 seasons.
5-1,
You were a
I
2-trick
gift
for
you
2
in
seasons.
scrims. You are 5-1 in scrims. I don't want to fucking hear it. Scrim me again.
I was
I'll
ringing
roll you again.
for
No,
randoms. I was ringing for randoms.
no.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like I don't know.
Season 0
I
is your
think,
favorite,
like-
is what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think like season 2 was pretty good too. But like season like 3.5 onwards has just been really, really bad for ranked. And I really hope that next season a lot of changes, aka nerfing Jeff. For the love of God, please nerf that character. Go through and make it a better experience.
Yeah, that might be why they're taking a little bit more time with the announcement as well, just to make sure they have everything fine-tuned on their end. You can only hope. We can only hope with that kind of stuff, or whatever the team ups are that they add or remove on that side of things. Well, thank you, Mace, for joining
Of
us.
course.
Do you have any final thoughts before we send you away and kind of close out with that question with our panel here as well?
Fuck you, Imperator.
Your heart stuck. Your heart stuck. Your heart stuck. Your heart stuck.
Oh
Good Final
man!
Four.
Shout out to Mace on that one as well. But the floor is open. Whoever wants to take it. What is your favorite memory from either Marvel Rivals or Marvel Rivals Esports' first year of existence?
Leg day.
As in, I was your favorite memory, or I should answer?
No, I mean you go first. No. You go first.
That's so
You've been there
sweet.
since the start. You go first.
Damn, you have the opportunity to be the sweetest little guy right there. Mine was probably casting Envy versus Citadel in Guangzhou with Mox. It was a incredibly close matchup. NA won, but I didn't care. It was a really good game. It was a really good cast. And it's when you get like all your fulfillment of needs, comes together. You're like, damn, I'm really fucking good at this, and this is what I want to be doing right now. I don't want to be anywhere else. So that's a very good memory for me.
That sounds amazing. I hope you get to experience like more things like that in the future too. Because again, only the first year, so much more that could happen with Marvel Rival Esports. I'll go Shibby next on this one, then we'll go Imperator, and then I'll end things off as well. If you want to go, Shibby.
Yeah, I guess I can split it up. I think for the game stuff, I really enjoyed the Fantastic Four kind of launch sequence process, however you want to do it, like where they released Thing and Mr. Fantastic, Invisible, like all that kind of stuff. I think they handled that event very, very well. I think they need to do more stuff like that, where it's like a big spectacle. Obviously, it was tied to the movie and stuff like that. And I'm sure when the Doom stuff happens, like we're gonna get a bunch of tie-in content. Like I know the cycle will come, right? Like I get it. On the esports side, I mean, I honestly, for me, like my earliest memory is just like watching Nightmare and Mutants, who were Sentinels and 100 Thieves at the time. Like I remember like watching their MRC or MRI, what was considered MRI back then, whatever.
The Invitational, yeah.
Like watching their, and they were like different names. And I was like, man, these players are pretty good. I remember like VOD reviewing one of their matches, and looking at it, making content on it. So I think it's really interesting that when I look back, it was only like 8 months ago that happened. And from like then until now, how big the game has gotten, how many more players have come out from the woodworks in terms of the competitive scene and stuff. One more thing, I saw that fucking screenshot floating around of Overwatch players winning Marvel Rivals. I need to address this. Anyone brain rotted? The first Valorant Reykjavik, it was CS players and one Overwatch guy won it. What do you expect? Like, it takes time for new players to come in. Like, obviously the Overwatch people are gonna win the first Marvel Rivals event.
I agree with this.
Dude, I saw that. I almost got myself banned on Twitter, man. I saw it. I was like so annoyed. I was like, this is the most brain
Rivals and
rot.
Rants.
Dude, this was the most brain rot. Like, dude, like Shazam, like 9-year CS pro, like all, like I don't. Okay, I'm done.
No,
The first League of Legends tournament was won by Dota pros.
Yeah, like, I don't want to hear it, man. I'm over it.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite game memory has to be Gamma Doctor Strange. Gamma Strange was the best thing that happened in Rivals. 3 support players would just pop their support ults, doesn't matter. I have Agamotto, 100 charge with the whole Gamma team up is a one-shot. So that was my most favorite memory. One-shotting through Luna ult, through Invis ult. Best thing that you could do in Rivals. Esports memory has to be watching NA choke every time. my favorite NA choke.
All right,
my favorite NA choke was Citadel versus Envy, Krakoa, second map, Cal versus Pokey, missing 7 shots in a row when Pokey is 1 HP. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that one.
If 7 shots in a row, Cal missed on Pokey and Pokey kills my side lock.
When it happened.
And then he just dies.
It's the same favorite memory, although in the end, Envy did win that, but they did have some truly handless moments.
Yeah.
And they just forgot to reattach them when they went to grand finals, I guess, So that was kind of the elephant in the room that we didn't really talk about, was Envy kind of falling by the wayside there. And in terms of salaries, I've heard is one of the largest there. So I'm curious what they'll do next season with whatever comes out for that. For me, favorite memory is playing in the beta originally when the game was first being tested. I didn't have a chance to get on the original alpha and all that kind of stuff too. Just because I wasn't involved in hero shooters and all that at the time, but just seeing how this new game just was so different from stuff that I was used to. Because I tried Overwatch when it was in beta originally, and I just didn't have any friends back then to play it with. I dabbled in it here and there in Overwatch 1 and some Overwatch 2, but Rivals just really stuck with me based on the heroes, the voice actors, how much polish there seemed to be from the beta going into the main event, and seeing how that has grown even more so. Metas and whatever else have you with the ranked shitters and everything else is annoying, but the game's still fun to play. It's still great to watch people compete in it. And I'd say my favorite esports memory is just making connections with all you guys, making friends with all the people in the scene, and meeting some of those people in person for the first time at the grand finals was amazing. Just to see that, and hope to see more of that too for in-person events. In Americas, I'm sure they're going to be doing a lot more because of from what I at least heard from them, is that they're really happy with how things went, which is great. We want them to be happy with how things went for this first in-person event, and that just bodes well for the esport in general. So I'm just excited for the future of Marvel Rivals esports. It was a lot of fun to see the first year and be a little bit a part of that with Rivals and Rants and some of the other stuff, Shibby, that we've done with VGL and some other productions out there too. And I just can't wait to see what comes next. I guess the one thing now is final thoughts from the panel going down the line as we close things out. Shibby, any final thoughts you have before we close the show?
Watch Collegiate Marvel Rivals.
That's
all I got. Gotta plug that. You got pro players playing in it, and North, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, Fate's on one of the teams. What?
Dude, yeah. I don't know what they're promising them, the scholarship wise, but hey, get your education as well. If you're good at Rivals, get your education, guys. There's a ton of universities providing scholarships and stuff like that. And again, I'm a little biased. Me and Vaudable cast Collegiate Rivals, but I would say watch that. And yeah, don't throw my ranked games if you see me. Don't do that.
What? But they're going to be listening to the advice from Imperator, and they should throw, is what it sounds like.
You have to make a statement.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. What about you, Leg Day?
No one remembers the guy who played averagely and just walked away with a casual like 20-7 line. You know, they remember the guy who went 25-25.
Exactly.
My closing thoughts. It's been a good year. I'm very happy with where we're at right now. I'm excited for what's going to happen next year. I haven't actually had much insight into it as I wasn't on the ground in Atlanta, but
You're gonna be excited, is all I'll say. It's
cautiously
gonna be great.
optimistic. And I'm very happy. Well, I guess shout out to all my colleagues who did a fantastic job in Atlanta,
Killed it.
and I couldn't be more proud of them.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone who's been involved in like Marvel Rivals esports in general, whether it's the players, the staff, the viewers, the NetEase side of things as well, the observers, everything. I mean, this wouldn't be where it is now without them, because we could have easily just been an esport, a game that didn't have an esport. But because the devs are actually putting the effort into it, they're actually like focusing on growing this from the ground up, and they care about it. From the talks that we've had with them, it can only go up from here, which is the great thing about that. But I digress. Imperator, any final thoughts from you?
I'm gonna rapid fire 3 final thoughts. One, I'm changing my answer from the favorite esports moment. Has to be Crisis subbing in for Navi.
Oh, that was great.
3-0 behind. 3-0 behind. First ever LAN event. MVPing on Bucky. Absolute magnificent. That was my favorite moment. He actually showed me like a bit of hope. 2, China should have one LAN spot only. Horrible performance from the past 2 Ignites. Maybe they have a Shanghai Dragons arc like Overwatch. They'll become good in like a year or 2. And the last one is a huge thank you to people like Vodable and Diatonic covering Rivals esports, doing God's work for the esports community, especially the casters also, and the production team and everyone else involved.
Yeah, shout out to Diatonic, shout out to everyone who's putting on productions. I mean, all the people that are putting on these like third-party events that are coming up as well. Without those, keeping people interested in the scene, and even the creator ones out there, we would lose some of the momentum that we've had up to this point. So hopefully we see, the announcement for more of those to come. But final thoughts for me is thank you all for watching. Marvel Rivals has been amazing for the first year. We hope to see some great stuff in the future. We'll be back with Rivals and Rants next week. I'm going to wait until the announcement happens so that we can actually have more stuff to talk about for Season 5. I was hoping we would be able to talk about it for this one, but there's a lot of cool stuff in the works. I know they're still talking about the placement matches. I don't know if that's going to be coming out finally for Ranked. That'd be dope. Some other stuff that they'll be doing with the new heroes. There's another really cool hero I've heard is coming out in December, I believe, or December or January, somewhere around there. So that's going to be pretty dope too. Keep an eye out for that. So there's a lot of cool stuff in the works for Marvel Rivals. We'll keep things going with Rivals and Rants. Shibby and I, you can tune in on NECC's channel for the Collegiate Marvel Rivals stuff. Next Wednesday, I will be doing the Battle of the Orgs, which Nightmare Academy won, the most recent one, and I'll be casting that with Diatonic, so make sure you tune in and participate in that. $100 qualifiers every single week on Wednesdays and Saturdays for like the next couple weeks, and then they have like a $450 prize pool tournament. So support the grassroots if you want to keep this going as we're waiting for the next season of Ignite or Invitationals or whatever else it is. Keeping those tournaments going, keeping people interested in the esports, that is what makes things flourish. So thank you all for tuning in to the 11th episode, or the first one of Season 2. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.